And here we are in the third quarterfinal, and we've talked a lot leading up to this. But man, oh man, after the level in the first two quarterfinals, are we excited here to see Liereyy and ACCM. And I also am a little concerned for ACCM currently. Oh my God. Well, Nili, this is Nomad. This can happen.
I didn't know Austria and Vietnam were that close together.
Seriously, holy crap. I mean, this wouldn't be an admin re. An admin re would happen if the TCs were in range of each other. But game one, and what will be an intense quarter, and they are directly next to each other. Malians for Liereyy, who he's picked so consistently on Nomad, and then Portuguese for ACCM, which has also been a consistent pick. And I think ACCM Nili, just noticed that Liereyy must be close.
Yeah, and that's going to be brutal. And now we have to think about, like, okay, who is going to benefit from that? Portuguese or Malians? I think if we somehow get onto enough stone in the castle, clearly Portuguese. But before that, Malians with their fast uptime should have the advantage. So I think Liereyy needs to make it extremely messy.
Yeah. I think that the TC spot is also better for Liereyy in terms of collecting wood. Like, unfortunately, this hill has made it so ACCM's TC is not directly on the wood. So I think the efficiency for Liereyy will be there. He's also bringing in a boar right away. And when you are next to somebody and you're bringing in the first boar, that can be huge because the opponent's not going to be able to get as many boars around them then. I guess there is one to the south of ACCM here. But another thing to talk about is the dock position. ACCM has docked a middle pond, which happens about one every 5 generations and this generation. And Lierey's gone to the outer ring. So every time I've seen Malians played on Nomad, and anytime I've seen Liereyy, he wants to be able to compete for fish. So if he can't find that, and if then he has land distractions, this might be a completely different game.
And I thought about this matchup quite a bit, right? I had Portuguese in one of my games as well when I played Nomad. And you kind of want to dock the center if you're Portuguese because you know Malians is faster.
Yep.
And therefore just delay it a bit, keep your fish alive a bit longer, and maybe try to redock a bit later is the approach. So I like how ACCM is playing this one. I think actually, yeah, the distance is super short. But if we wall between the two wood lines, I think aggression is actually not paying off that much.
Yeah, true. I guess it really does come down to, scouting and what you know when you know it. Let's see what Liereyy does here. Lierey's got an opportunity. I think he's just scouting, and he's going to see now that there's a villager bringing in a boar. He's going to try and block it. Now, Loom is already in for ACCM. So ACCM should be okay. And Liereyy now will know that the TC's there, and now ACCM's almost blocking Lierey's villager, but now the villager's weak. Oh my goodness.
What? Wait! Re-aggroed.
Wow.
4 HP. Still a lot of idle time here. And all that time, he was not really getting any proper food and wood income. So, Liereyy, big W here in the start.
Yeah, the fact that he hasn't lost the villager too. And now look at this. Liereyy now knows the situation, and he knows that ACCM's going to need this boar. And ACCM's come out to snag it before Liereyy can do anything, and Lierey's trying to lame it. However, the palisade could go down. Oh, man, this is interesting. But this is allowed on Nomad. It is not allowed within the first 3 minutes. But, villager's out?
Oh, that was a sweet wall in. And he got the first shot against the boar again. Oh, but Will finally dies.
And the villager dies. What is happening here? This is, normally with a cast, we've got a structure. Like, okay, Nili, what do you think about this? And what do you think about the goal position? This hasn't exactly happened. So it's making us work hard here. But so far, while I think the start isn't awful for Liereyy, I think it's been quite good for ACCM. Him killing that villager and then getting that boar is massive, but he just shot it with the TC.
Oh, that's what I said. Don't shoot it too often. It only had 12 HP. He got over there 9 HP and then tried to kill it with the town center. Sometimes with those messy things, it happens. And now he is with 1 boar against potentially 3.
Oh, man. And that's just the instinct of present-day Age of Empires 2 players. Weaken the boars with the town center, but the boar was already so weak. So a big mistake for ACCM. And so now he was not going to have much food underneath his TC. The one deer is also wedged up against the wood line. So that really hurts him. But he is also wandering around. And he is going to find this boar that Liereyy would have wanted. And so now he walls in his villager. And he is also trying to lame and kill this thing out here. I like that a lot, Nili. I also am impressed with the fact that both players have been able to keep their docks working. Because I would have had maybe 2 fishing ships right now. I don't think I'd be headed towards 4 with everything that's gone down.
Yeah, really well played by them for sure. I did see time for ACCM though because food was so scarce, and well, now I'm looking forward to the next Hidden Cup explanation video with all the players, how they're luring their boars and how you explain ACCM style.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Back the last time one happened, I think maybe 50% of the players were weakening boars with their TC. Now everyone does it except for maybe like Doubt or something.
Yeah. Oh god, I hate him so much for it.
You can't teach an old Doubt new tricks, Nili. So, well, imagine what could have been for ACCM had he had that boar, because he can't click up. If he would have had that food, he would likely be on the way to feudal age now. And we have Liereyy adapting based on his normal style anyways, and he's on stone. So it feels like at least one tower is going to go up for him. And if he could just place a tower to the left of this wood line, right behind ACCM's wood, I guess it's both their wood, but either way, I mean, that would just be huge and really delay ACCM.
Oh man, I think ACM wanted to click up but didn't have a second building. So
yeah,
it needed to go out there, get the mill, and yeah, lumber camp indeed pretty ugly for him there. I think Liereyy could even try to lame some of the deer. Or is he trying to get a sneaky dog in the center? No, he adds a second one at the top.
I'm wondering if he spotted it. I don't think he lost anything to the dock there, like any sheep or anything. I think he's just trying to scout a little bit here. Liereyy was very good with outposting in his other nomad games, so I could have seen that villager on the front maybe doing that. ACCM 90 seconds away from the next stage. He does have solid eco, but he is going to be in a bit of an awkward position on land if Liereyy goes for aggression. However, Lierey's going for galleys. Liereyy doesn't know where the dock is. Liereyy is going for galleys, and there will be no fish on the outer ring, so that's actually pretty good for ACCM.
I see the fishing ship there, but probably only now got the confirmation. So 2 galleys, actually a lot of wasted resources. They won't achieve anything.
Yeah. The tower will be good, though. That'll disrupt, I think, the whole lumber camp. It'll depend on the range. And ACCM and Liereyy both have villagers underneath each other's town centers now. And Liereyy does lose a villager, and ACCM micros back. So Lierey's lost 2 villagers in this game, and ACCM hasn't lost any yet. So he's done a good job amongst all this chaos.
Yeah, certainly. And he is maybe thinking about fast castling this, right? Resources are looking really solid in that direction. Needs to get those walls up, though, and takes 3 villagers. And that tower, I don't think it will fully block the gold. Oh no, it's not even a tower. Liereyy walls up behind this. That's surprising to me. I thought he was searching for more aggression.
I do like the dock, though, because like you said, he spotted that fishing ship with his outpost. And so that, I mean, one fire ship there could kill all 4 of those fishing ships. And if you wanted to go fast castle in ACCM's position, you wanted to spend all of your wood on the blacksmith, the market, and you're still waiting for some food too. So I think that this is nice. That food there is so crucial for him. He now has to delay his fast castle, has to compete on water with the fire galley.
Fire galley, and that delays the blacksmith so long. Didn't even want to afford a second lumber camp there. Thought about it, but thought, okay, I need to get to castle age. Now even does double bid X. He abandons his fast castle plan.
Yep, he's just like, well, it's not going to happen. I think it's a good decision to abandon it here, because if you try and get away with it, I think you get punished too heavily. A great job here from Liereyy. Liereyy, he's just adding fish now, and this is something he's done so consistently on Nomad. Competes for water, realizes the situation, then will add fish. And from my point of view, as we see the Portuguese versus Malian bonuses at play, Malian's cheaper docks, but Portuguese more HP. Liereyy has to repair. But from my point of view, the longer that ACCM is stuck in feudal, the better it is for Liereyy, because Liereyy will have so many fishing ships in the long term around the outside.
But still, we have to think about it, right? Distance super short, stone available to ACCM.
Yep.
He can build a castle next to his starting town center. Means eventually Liereyy will lose his town center, and then the map is completely open. I'm still a bit scared of the Orient push.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and we'll see if Liereyy wants to go for anything aggressive. Liereyy, clearly a little paranoid. He made a tower on his gold. And, I mean, the laming there from ACCM we showed, but we didn't really talk about. That was unique. Just walling in the gold mine a little bit, just to make it awkward for those villagers. And the fishing ships for ACCM still working, and I guess they would have been pretty inefficient in the long run here anyways, but keeping them alive could be nice, because there's quite a bit of water in the middle.
Yeah. And it's just free food, right?
Yep.
Even if they get inefficient, like right now, your food income is already not pretty. It will be even worse after the deer are empty. So, I could have really helped out his economy, and I think he should really continue to gather there. It's kind of his only food income pretty soon.
Yeah, so had ACCM not shot his own boar with his TC, he would have been up to Castle Age already, and it's looking worse and worse for Liereyy. Lierey's going to hit with a nice demo, though. But ACCM wise to it, Nili. He realizes that if he can repair both those ships, that's a huge save.
Nice one. Fights off the 1v1, still double repair coming in there, and seems like not a lot of losses. The main story, the 2 villagers that we lost on the town center, and now heavily going onto stone. Where do you want to see that castle?
I'd place it right in front of my TC, right? Like, yeah, right in front of the TC, in a spot where it can range the enemy's TC and also take out the tower. You can get your wood line back then. I think that's a no-brainer. You just don't want to place it too close to that tower because you'll never know if Lierey's going to be able to get fletching and garrison. But even then, like, ACCM could always pull back the weaker villagers there. And I'm expecting a big demo here from Liereyy. He doesn't have it. He does not have a demo in there. It's another fire. So 4-1 total KD for ACCM, 2-1 eco KD. He's redocked so his fishing ships will be more efficient now. And he's going to get his castle drop. This is perfect for him.
Yeah, he has to be happy with that. And Liereyy, what is his option now? He is reasonably on gold, could maybe go into Monks and Redemption, but is that really the dream scenario? I don't mind ACCM's position here.
Yeah, I agree with you, yeah. And, I think, as we had talked about at the start, if you would have preferred one player's position based on the Civ matchup, you would have absolutely preferred to be the Portuguese player when you're right next to the opponent. You don't want to be far away if you want to go for a unique unit like the Organ Gun, and there's the castle. And as I said, if Liereyy wants to, he can hop inside that tower, but villagers should still be able to be pulled away. You would expect ACCM to be able to do that, and ACCM is doing exactly that. That castle will go up, and Lierey's probably just staring at this like, oh, God. But he did kill a villager, so the tower garrison has been more than worth it thus far.
Yeah, a bit on the sloppy side there for ACCM. We'll get the castle up eventually, though, so not a big loss. And still, we have to think about it. Like, what is Lierey's options here? Like, is it Mangnol defense? Is it Monks? He's already walling towards the top. Those are really weird houses, Tristan.
Yeah. Walling, hoping that maybe he could go for guard tower defense. I mean, you do have a cheaper university, and your university techs research faster. So I think guard tower would be a reasonable play, but it just feels like right now, with all the bonuses Portuguese have, whether it's arena or whether it's nomad like this, even if you find an answer to these organ guns, it's just such an investment to get there, and you're always going to be one step behind. It's so difficult to have to get redemption and then hope you get conversions when there's no guarantee. It's just so complicated.
Center water could be interesting. Demos prepared there. War galleys finishing in 5 seconds as well. But the formation got split up a bit.
Yeah, ACCM choosing to chase these villagers with the organ guns. And he is going to take out Lierey's TC. Liereyy might be without a town center soon. Liereyy has had the outer fish. I think a big move here from ACCM could be to actually dock the outside somewhere. But big shots there from Liereyy. Lierey's not finished on water yet. Just
fast fires fire ships are so good against fishing ships. So just getting 2 or 3 there would be so good already. And yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Kind of the backbone of Lierey's economy.
Yeah, good job from Liereyy. I mean, he was behind on water initially. And ACCM, I guess because he's so focused on the organ guns, is a little distracted. He forgot about one of his fires. He is still finding villagers, though, and he is going to find the vill in the north. So that'll confirm to him that there's fishing ships out there for Liereyy, and it might kind of give him the idea to dock the outside.
Oh, center seems to be lost as well, but that's not really where Portuguese is really counting on to make the big plays. They're mainly looking in the mainland here. Now reclaims his starting wood line. Maybe some more pressure on those monasteries could have been a bit better instead of those towers and houses.
Yeah, taking his time, it feels like a slow build-up. It's expensive to be able to get the units out to take care of this. And by the time you get the monks where you can maybe get conversions on organs, they might have 7 or 8 organs like ACCM has. And I mean, being forced to repair your monastery as you have 2 monks and you're just now completing Sanctity and Redemption is a tricky thing. But ACCM does have to respect it, Nili. And what's he going to do? He's going to go for Atonement, and he is going to try and convert those monks. What a play. I love it.
And actually, a true story, my girlfriend just 2 days ago asked me, what makes T90 so popular? And I said, his
good looks.
No, she knew that beforehand.
Wait a second. In what tone did she say that? Was she like, ugh, what makes T90 so popular?
No, it's more appreciated.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I told her that you're a great storyteller and that you get people excited. And before we started the set, you said, we see so much redemption, we see so much atonement. And people could already envision it, and now they see it in the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, thank you, Nili. And thank you, Nili's girlfriend, for, appreciating me. But seriously, what a play from ACCM. He's going to get 1 monk, and that monk's going to convert his friend because he says, hey, it's cool over here in the blue. And now Lierey's like, oh, God, I got to get another monk technology, and I only have 3 monks. This is horrible for Liereyy.
Even the relic being stolen here at the bottom. Not really the highest priority here. And, well, he gets the castle, but look at that spot. Feels horrible. Yeah, it's protecting the gold.
Yep.
But you're cornering yourself so much.
Yeah, and you are in a position where you really needed to expand much earlier. He did get the TC in the north up. That could be, if Liereyy wins this game somehow, that could be a big talking point. What?
ACCM, after like 3 or 4 seconds of Lierey's conversion, turned himself around and tried to convert Liereyy back, and he got the conversion first.
Oh, boy. I missed that one. I was looking at the town center. But not the start Liereyy would have wanted here. Not the type of game you ever want to play. Another game where Portuguese and their all-ins have just been so strong. And I think Lierey's put up a crazy fight here, too. It's crazy. We only have 12 to 10 KD for ACCM, so it's not like he's dominating. But this position is just so tough for Liereyy to do anything about.
Uh-oh. Forward castle. Monks. I don't think 5 monks will defend this. Atonement monks trying to lock in the conversions. Liereyy trying to hide.
Yeah, so you would need enough monks to convert all of ACCM's monks and then all the organ guns. And then, of course, there's always a risk that the organ guns could kill you in 1 volley or the monks could convert you. So Lierey's forced to try. I don't blame him at all, but it seems like ACCM's, again, getting the better of the conversions here. And the rest of the monks are just hiding within the tower. Here come the organs. And we should see all these monks go down.
Yeah, next to the castle conversions basically is heresy, and Liereyy knows no way to come back anymore.
Wow. Again, Lierey's been really good on Nomad. There's so many times he's played Nomad in the group stage, and again, I believe in the round of 12, and he looked strong. But, that sometimes Nomad has some wackiness to it, right? And sometimes the generations are ridiculous. There was no treaty box on this Nomad, Nili, so they might not have known immediately when they placed their TCs, but a couple minutes later, they figured it out. And I'm sure ACCM had that big old cheesy grin on his face the second that he saw the town center from Liereyy. And even though there were some mistakes from ACCM, with the boar in particular, he ended up killing 2 villagers from Liereyy in the Dark Age. He got his castle down, he defended his water, and he converted everything. So it was a picture-perfect game for ACCM.
I think Liereyy needed to make it a bit more messy for ACCM. I think I wanted to see like even an archer range, maybe a tower, pressure the stone, pressure the berries and the deer at the top. Like this is just too easy for ACCM. Like walled up situation with defensive gold and stone behind your town center, and you get to your dream army. Like ACCM can just play such a controlled and easy game, while Liereyy had to come up with the counter. What a lot of people feel right now is a strategy that feels very strong.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I think if ACCM was Spanish or Turks or any civilization that wants to go for a castle and a unique unit that costs food and gold, then you maybe need to prioritize the fish a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if ACCM runs out of food, the second that castle's up, he's got wood and gold and he can make organ guns and monks anyways. So I think the key is to be making sure that you get a bigger lead. And as you said, making it messier for ACCM so he can't just casually build a castle. And all ACCM really had to do on land, beyond the early villager shenanigans, was just wall. He didn't make a single tower. He didn't have to rush down a barracks or any of that. So, considering Malian buildings are so cheap, maybe that's the one thing we got to talk about there with Liereyy. But also, he has always had the flexible water approach into Castle Age as his meta on Nomad thus far. So we had said we really liked ACCM's draft. We really liked ACCM's plans with his maps against Liereyy. We'll see what Liereyy can do. Liereyy has looked insanely good in Titans League, and he's going to have some open maps for us, I'm sure. And here we are. And wow, I mean, Scandinavia, again, not a map that maybe you're expecting Liereyy to pick here. We'll see what he does with the Mayans, which feels like a blast from the past for us, Nili. Mayans used to be picked a lot back in the day on this map, but not as frequent these days.
Yeah, especially if we think about, like, if we are fully walled, other civilizations get to crazy army composition as well. And then you don't have bombard cannons on the short distance. No real bonuses for Mayans on water as well. It just feels like there are 4 or 5 civilizations that are better. But Mayans, we have seen it before in one of the early weeks. I'm not really sure who played it, though.
I know in Gold, Hart did it against Bad Boy. But I don't know. Okay. I don't recall Mayans actually being played in Platinum League. There's been a lot of games. I could be wrong, though.
I know that I watched the game once and was really confused. And I think it was even Mayans against Byzantines. I think it was week 1.
Ooh, Mayans, Byzantines. That rings a bell for me. Yeah, but maybe in the first week someone realized maybe we have to prioritize water a little bit more or something. Well, I'm excited about the generation here, too. So the thing about Scandinavia is that you don't necessarily know if you're going to be on a shoreline or not. And so we have 2 different generations. We have ACCM. He's very clearly near the right water. He's always going to dock there. And that's his whole strategy with the Italians, is at least to start off with focusing on water. Liereyy has more of a land civilization in the first place, and he's more stuck in the middle here on land. So he is actually just as close to docking on the right side as he is the left side. But he has to, weigh the options based on what he sees. And I don't know if this is part of his thinking here, Nili, but I love the fact that instead of trying to push deer on a map where there's 3 boars, he's going forward and he's scouting instead. So he should now know that ACCM's dock spot will be on the right-hand side.
Pushing deer is not really typical in Scandinavia for multiple reasons. As you mentioned, like 3 boars, so you're not really reliant on it. And you don't have berries. So at one point you need to build a mill anyways.
Yep.
And that's most of the time next to the deer anyways, so pretty standard play to not push the deer. But yeah, would have been a good spot with so close to the town center for Liereyy for sure.
Yeah, you say pretty standard. I think, again, it was like the first week or 2, I just saw people pushing deer on Scandinavia. And then what would happen is... yeah, probably. And then what would happen is they wouldn't have the scouting, right? So I think Lierey's approach here has not just been to find ACCM. I think he's trying to kill the dock villager right now with that eagle. And ACCM saw the eagle run past his house earlier, and he's clearly just waiting, and he is able to drop the palisade. Liereyy will show up and see the dock now. And so a missed opportunity there for Liereyy, who could actually hit through the diagonal spot. Oh my god, ACCM's going to lose 2 vills. He lost the Boerville too.
What?
Okay, so let me explain. I think we know why ACCM lost his boar villager is because he was trying to fix the villager there on the dock. I have mentioned it many times. I'm sure you've seen it, Nili. For whatever reason, sometimes you can attack through the diagonal, even though it is walled. And that's precisely what happened there. And this is just a horrible start for ACCM now. And Liereyy, even though with a little bit of thanks DE magic, I guess, he gets the start he wants.
So I think the only way for ACCM to save this is to press Alt while selecting the villager, and therefore ignoring the palisade, and try to click as far as you can to the left side of the palisade.
Yeah,
so the villager moves a bit more to the edge of the ice.
The thing is that you can't... There's not a lot of area to move there, which is what makes it tricky. But yeah, I think the reason the villager was able to get hit was because of how close it was there. And there are instances where when you're getting hit through the diagonal, you can avoid it. But yeah, what was probably happening for him was there's so many different things he could click, like the shorefish or the palisade wall. And when a villager's getting hit like that and they've been given a task, they freeze. So yeah, Alt is a way to... It's the same thing of when you're trying to kill villagers that are building a castle, let's say, and the castle foundation is rising up. it's sometimes hard to click those villas. You can hold Alt and it avoids the buildings. But, man, I mean, dream start for Liereyy here with the Mayans. He also has docked the right side. So he knows where ACCM's fishing ships are going to be. And normally the Italians would have more fish by now. Normally the Italians would be faster to feudal. But it's going to be Liereyy who beats him there.
It is interesting that Liereyy front docked, though, I have to say. Because typically, like, Italians should have the advantage. Like, this time, Lierey's start is so good that he can just play the aggression and play Fire Galley opening there.
Yep.
But typically, that should not happen. And you can see ACCM, he's not expecting to fight a lot on water. He is heavily walling and even walled 3 of his deer out.
Yeah, and the scouting aspect of ACCM has been so delayed because he stayed at home for so long. And unfortunately, him staying home didn't lead to him saving his villager. So, you know, he's looking now. He's going to find some pigs, and he is going to locate Lierey's gold. But he doesn't know where Liereyy is docked yet. So I would say the only positive here is that it seems like he's just going to go water anyways. And so whether it's for defense or offense here, it could work out, and he could end up winning water against Liereyy.
6 on gold.
Whoa.
Liereyy is playing something that's not only fire galleys. Like, typically you can, like, if you want to think about 2-dock fire galleys, like 4 on gold is fine.
Yep.
He's either adding eagles or archers behind this.
Okay. Well, I mean, ACCM sees the barracks. He also has a 3 HP scout. The value of the scouting here, and it looks like it will be an eagle scout. I've never seen that before. Galleys, or I guess fire galleys, and then also eagles. But look at ACCM scouting the dock with a fishing ship. Interesting strat.
Wow. And yeah, he might think, okay, you just built that dock. Let's see if he goes to the edge of the map and tries to see it. No, he thinks that one just came up. He has to believe that Liereyy has a dock in the back, not seeing any fishing ship there.
Yeah, and
I don't think he believes that it's the second one.
And he just lost the scout, so he cannot confirm the situation there. He is going 2 docks at home, but there's just a lot of momentum for Liereyy right now. We know he's got a bit of an eco lead because of what happened earlier. He's now got 2 fire galleys versus what will be 1 for ACCM. And this is, I mean, it's just the perfect spot for Liereyy to respond in this series, isn't it?
Perfect opening. He gets all the map control. He gets more deer. He has the fish advantage. He has the scouting intel. This is just beautiful for him.
Now let's see what ACCM can do. Damage control is needed. The fishing ships are cheap, so if he ends up losing fishing ships and then re-winning water, he could be okay. But my concern for him is it's not just the fact that Lierey's going water. Lierey's going to be doing stuff on land as well. So you have to respect both of those things. And either area of the map could add up greatly here.
Yeah. And just let's think a bit ahead, right? Even if water is even, like, Liereyy will have better food, more map control. Like, a follow-up with the Siege Workshop and Massed Eagles is just so easy for him.
Yeah. Also, love the transitional play here from Liereyy. He's already thinking about taking the deer with a mill. We probably would see the same from ACCM if he wasn't so distracted on water. And looks like all the fishing ships have gone down for ACCM. Liereyy not even using the demo on the fish, which is very smart. He's blocked the fishing ship with it.
What a nerd.
And now he wants to use the demo. Makes sense, right? Now you just use the demo on a ship, which is what you wanted in the first place. Beautiful play.
Nice. Oh, but counter demo there. Pretty efficient there.
Oh,
for sure.
Spearman was on the shoreline for ACCM. Did he scout the other dock? No, but he saw the Vil. He must know now that it's at 2 docks for Liereyy, though. There's no
production-wise.
Yeah, there's just no way that Liereyy would produce out of 1 dock and get this. Recovery time for ACCM?
Castle edge timing is the big thing. Recovery time, holding time on water, yes.
Yep.
Even docking the one at the bottom, but only now building the mill with 48 food in the bank. Opponent
It's
already
rough.
at 320 and 6 on deer.
Yeah, I mean, the left side, he could possibly recover a bit and add fishing ships, but like you said, Nili, it feels like ACCM, at the very least, is going to need to brace himself for what will be a very strong Castle Age push. And so if you're going to need to brace yourself, double house walling's huge, which he's doing everywhere. Potentially some stone walls in some cases too. So there's maybe a chance, but Liereyy came to play here in game 2. Maybe was a little bit angry about the generation in game 1.
Yeah. And that was like Nomad, where, as you said earlier, he felt comfortable.
Yep.
Like, he felt, okay, Mayan should be good. Demo, oh god, it's in the epicentrum.
Oh! If only would have used it a little bit earlier, I think he would have killed a villager there. And Liereyy does demo the dock, which was clearly unintentional, but still he's just not allowing ACCM to get to his fish. And he's even comfortably adding an extra fishing ship here. I mean, he will be so far ahead to Castle Age, it's not even going to be close.
Ooh, and ACCM cancelled all fire galleys at the top. Only goes for the bottom right now. Gives up that area, and that means landing potential even. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a demo, because then you can use the Eagles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, and you could easily take out the palisade in the house here as part of this wall and run in with your Eagles. So you almost... I don't think you can give up water for your ACCM. You have to hold water, otherwise that will happen.
True.
Look at Liereyy, though. He's scouting the other docks on the left side. So I think not only will he go for Eagles, but I think he will probably... Well, he already has made a dock in the south. So in Castle Age, he can get War Galley and contest there. I'm loving Leary's play here in game number 2.
Yeah. Pure aggression, and ACCM, it's just like so many moves that aren't going right for him.
Yep.
But it is tricky, right? Mayan starts with an extra villager. You lost 2 villagers in Dark Age. Your start is so behind with fishing ship production. It's just one to forget and just think of it as a best of 3 after it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think ACCM, the second that happened, he would have known how rough it is. Losing 2 villagers is already bad, but his dock was also delayed, right? So, lost 2 villagers, but then was behind by 2 or 3 fishing ships. So it's just too big of an eco lead for Liereyy to really let slip up. But we also should credit Liereyy because every single window that he's had, he's taken advantage of, both on water, on the left side now as well, and then also the land is going to be the next thing. And there are the villagers. I think we know what those villagers are going to build there in the middle of the map.
Siege Workshop incoming, and that will be so good for him. Even builds a very aggressive dock on the top pond. Bottom one, just some fire galleys, and look at all the dots. Everything is blinking here for ACCM. Getting attacked at like 5 different spots, it feels like.
Yeah, he's going to try. He's 2 minutes away from Castle. And he probably expected that. Sometimes you just know. And Liereyy still continuing to micro with his ships. Does lose one there, but he's knocking on all the doors. And ACCM could even overchop this tree, which would make this somehow worse. But, I mean, the siege will kill those villagers anyways. Also,
the outpost tries to get some more vision, and yeah, 30 put away.
He doesn't see the siege workshop, right? The outpost was a great idea, but just doesn't have quite enough vision. Now it's at 10 wood. Lierey's not looking, though. I guess Liereyy would see it if he moves into the woodline with the Mangonel here in a second.
Or do you wait with the Mangonel and only shoot after it's overchopped?
Oh, well, ACCM saw it.
Palisade. Ooh.
Okay, adds a house as well. And this is where Liereyy just wants Vil kills. And boom, he's going to kill 1. And he's going to kill 2. And still, we do not know what ACCM can possibly even make to stop this. Not to mention the fact that he will probably end up losing some water on the left. Well, actually, maybe not. He might have the fishing ships there. Maybe there's a chance.
What is our production here? Like we are not having a stable. Oh, and Eagles in at the left side.
No, it can get worse. So the eco KD is 9-0 for Liereyy. Of course, he doesn't know that a board killed a villager earlier. And I guess it's just going to be siege defense for ACCM and water, which maybe could have worked on the left side had he not, let these Eagles in. But now he's got to deal with that, and ACCM's still going to give it his best shot here, Nili. He definitely knows he's got maybe less than a 1% chance right now, but that's still enough to keep fighting on here, because who knows? Maybe you could pull off the most miraculous comeback ever on Scandinavia.
Well, Eagles at the top, though, trying to find more damage. Water kind of lost at the top, but we're getting War Galley against no War Galley.
Yep.
I think ACM is actually taking the water back.
Yeah, I was surprised that Liereyy didn't prioritize War Galley. It felt like he didn't need to get even the Eagle Warrior upgrade at this stage. Because giving ACCM the left side is a way back for ACCM. But then again, 2 villagers die. The Eagle Warriors are going to pay off. More damage control here from ACCM, who needs a crazy mango shot here. It's at 80%. He needs to somehow kill everything. He can't let the Eagles through. The Eagles are through. Uh-oh.
Where to even shoot? Oh, he pops out. Eagles next to it. They're going for the wood line. Quick walls for ACM on point.
Wow, but Liereyy somehow split 2 Mangonels in a tight little gap there. Didn't lose his. But yeah, ACCM still alive, fighting back on water. Behind this, Liereyy, 3 town centers producing villagers, though. Massive villager lead now. And it just feels like even if the Eagles are walled out forever here, as we see more great micro from both players, both on 2 HP there, wow. It just feels like Liereyy should be able to land boom. Just a quick glance back at his economy shows all the farms he has. 3rd town center is coming up. I mean, this guy's set to go for the long run.
Fish still untouched, right? ACM, he technically won war at the top, but he didn't really benefit from it. He didn't kill the fish.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, it's a fair point. And he's only had 4 fishing ships on the other side. And fish matters a lot in this map, right? And that's why Liereyy prioritized it. But at this point, once you've had the fish allow you to go for the 3 town center boom with bills. So losing the fishing ships right now for Liereyy wouldn't even be that big of a deal. He's not even trying to save them anymore for that reason. Because he's got 60 villagers versus the 40 from ACCM right now.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And more map control, 3 TC versus 1 TC soon. So that will even increase. More Mangonel will find more kills. And ACM, honestly, like, I liked close to every single move he did in the last 20 minutes.
I agree.
Just the first 6 were so rough on him.
Yeah, losing the Vill, losing the other Vill. That's not something you see every day. Oh, man. Yeah, the worst possible start. I guess, maybe it could have been worse if he lost his scout to the TC, but even then he lost his scout a little bit later on. So, kind of 2 interesting games, right? Like, the start of game 1 was wild in that the players were right next to each other, and Liereyy lost 2 Vills in the Dark Age. And now we've seen ACCM lose 2 villagers in the Dark Age. I imagine the future maps will be a little bit different. If we see villagers die in the Dark Age on all the other maps, I'll be shocked. But the score's 1-1.
Yeah, an easy game to shake off, I believe, if we are ACCM here.
Yep.
Still remember, you have 2 of your home maps, just convert them into Ws, and you are in the semis.
Yeah, Liereyy, happy to recover. I mean, a win is a win. It doesn't matter how pretty it is, right? And, while we will see some potential messiness on Cross, and here we are. We have Bengalis for ACCM on his home map. Game 2 is a little rough, but he's looking to recover here, and he should be able to. The Bengalis have looked really strong, and ACCM also, I think, would be the player who's a little bit more comfortable on these closed maps when compared to Liereyy. That said, I mean, Liereyy playing Regicide Fortress is not a new thing. The Chinese have been around a long time, and Chinese were the #1 Regicide Fortress for years, until the Bengalis were introduced. Now you see that a bit more. Then the Cumans were introduced. Start to see that a little bit too. But what are your thoughts on the Civ matchup here, Nili?
I personally don't think that Chinese has a lot of chances if Bengalis plays it to perfection.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I think that few people play Bengalis how they should be played against Chinese. I think you kind of wall the full map and play massive siege.
Or lose your
try
king.
to.
Okay.
Oh,
I got scared.
okay,
Never mind.
okay.
Sorry, continue.
I think you play a lot of onagers against Chinese. Chinese is really struggling, not having siege engineers, not having redemption. I think every SO Civ kind of beats Chinese. And with Bengalis, you just have to work for it a bit more with onagers, I believe.
Did you happen to see the Valis Doubt series 2 weeks ago?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it was a crazy series as the kings encounter each other here, scouting on the right side. So Valis was Cumans, which we've seen many times, and oftentimes it's a mini boom into kip checks, and then you take map control with the kip checks, forward castle, forward traps, right? You've seen that a million times. Instead of committing to kip check upgrades long term, he actually went onager. So he went 4 trebs, 5 onagers, and Doubt was full Chukunu, which is still normal against the kip check play. And Doubt lost mass amounts of Chukunu, and he lost a lot of space. And then Doubt had to try and make an awkward tech switch into light cav or something. And by then he had already lost a lot of control. And Valis also then, against Veleza in his round of 12 set, which unfortunately he lost, was Franks against Mayans. And he went Mangonel Knight initially, and then went Axeman Onager in a ridiculous game. And it just had me thinking, we see so much redemption these days, and so many monks converting siege, but we don't really see people abusing the fact that the opponents don't have redemption or don't have atonement as much. So that you might be onto something there.
Yeah, I think, for example, like humans should be a good counter to Chinese. At least that's what I believe right now.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it's interesting because we've seen the meta develop a little bit. There were some really interesting picks the first week or two that just didn't work out, like Burgundians, for example. You're like, oh, a boomy map. Let's go Burgundians. No, this doesn't feel the same as Arena. Even Turks on this map, because this map is so eco-focused, doesn't feel the same.
I've seen some wild picks. We have seen Byzantines. We have seen Portuguese, Burmese. We have seen Franks now as well.
Who picked Franks? I assume that was gold?
That was, gold qualification. Daniel against Hart. No, Daniel against Hart in group stage.
Oh, group stage,
Franks.
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it
was wild.
It was so interesting. It wasn't just the picks from Platinum League to Gold League, but it was how maps were played. For example, when I watched you play Margugu on Shoals, both of you...
Let's talk about that game.
Yeah, it was also an incredible game for one player. I wonder who. But like you both had 3 TCs, maybe even 4 at one point, but none of them were on the gold areas. And I was like, how does that happen? Because every Platinum game, everyone is putting so much focus there. So like just like small things like that. And then obviously the civilization sometimes too, we see different preferences. But I think a lot of it just comes down to what you're encountering, what you're seeing have success. And so, you know, if you're in Gold League and something's working for you, you might not want to change away from it too much. But it's been really cool how different some of the approaches were, even though we're talking about the top 24 and then the 24 after it with gold.
Wild statement. I think gold players practice more than platinum players for this tournament.
I don't think it's that wild, actually. No, I don't think it's that wild as well. You also have to consider that some of the gold players were players that came up from silver. So they had already played like more games. They not in the same map pool, but they played a lot. And then I think a big reason that we've seen big names get relegated from Platinum this season is because the promoted players from Gold from Season 1 that came up were super motivated.
Yeah,
They're hungry.
Drake and MBL, best example.
Yeah, exactly. And there are more examples as well, like Running beating Vinchester in the first week. Valis ending up saving himself. Like, I think 5 of the 8 people who will get relegated out of Platinum from this season were surprises. But if you look at the players who were relegated, you could argue their preparation wasn't there. So I really like the format for that reason, because especially the first 2 weeks in the group stage, you've got some chances against some big names if you really prepare something.
Yeah, now the big question, will those players prepare for the Gold League next season? Like the MBLs, the Winchesters, Nikovs, like how much will they care? Or do they think, wow, I'm at 2.6k, the average in this group is like 350.
Yep.
Do I need to do something to actually advance?
That's a good question. I think for some people, they're gonna go in and just be like, I could just beat them anyways. And they might get surprised, But I think other people are frustrated with themselves, and it will actually be good for them, and they will actually become like a super dominant 14 win 1 loss player because of that. Like I think Nikov, like I was talking to Nikov a lot, and Nikov, I was like, dude, like, great fight, because he almost kept himself alive, blah blah blah. And he's like, I can't say I deserve to stay up. He's like, I'll just take out my anger on everyone in Gold League next season.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So good luck to anyone who's playing in Nikov's group. Well, okay, so...
He could still get someone of the big names, right? He could face someone like MBL or Vinches in his group.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Gold is stacked, right? And it, in theory, with the way the format works, it should always be stacked because all the spots have to be earned all the time. So... Well, it's crazy with these civilizations, but the ecos are pretty darn similar. Chinese, 33 villagers. Bengalis, 33 villagers. We do not have a monastery yet for either player, so they're not prioritizing the relics right now, just prioritizing the vill count. But one thing I'll remind people of, I've said this so many times by now, but this version of Regicide Fortress always has the towers and the castles in a more, let's say, applicable spot, so it actually helps you. In the past, the castles could be in the back or the towers could be in the back. But the castles being near the front has allowed that theme of map control, castle forward trebuchets to always work. So I'm excited to see what the players will do for map control when they're at about 3 or 4 town centers and thinking about clicking up to the Imperial Age.
Interesting thought process from you. Because on Arena, your changes actually worked against that, right?
Yeah.
Because your main goal is so safe
Yep.
that actually we saw less aggression and less fast in forward trying to pressure that main goal.
I don't know if we saw less because of that. I think we've seen a lot of aggression. But I guess you're right, you could see more if the other gold was forward. Yeah,
the main goal.
I kind of like it wasn't a thought that I had originally had, but I was speaking to T West about it. And when we started looking at fortress scripts, we just realized how rough it is sometimes. The worst part for me was when someone would have their main gold forward and then their castle would be in the back. And so that just felt so bad, and I just didn't feel like that was acceptable. So it's worked out for us. And I think some players have been very well aware of the fact that the castle's always forward. And then some players in the game seem like they have no clue. Like they've never heard me say it, or they haven't realized there's a consistency there. No, everyone picks up on it in different ways. But here comes ACCM with a monk. It is a Bengali monk, so he could take some more hits. And look at him use the guard with a follow. This is great.
Wouldn't it be really nice if the monk could just hop on the back and drive home with the relic?
Of course, yeah. New Bengali bonus because they need more bonuses.
That would be a nice feature.
Or he could hop on the horse right there. The horses, they don't have a rider.
Just chilling there.
Okay, so here's a serious question. Do you think that the guard command in this instance? Do you think that this is something people should do more of?
No.
No.
Well, it's a bit easier, but the scout can come in.
Yep.
And still get the kill.
Yep. And that's exactly what happens. Yep.
Yeah, so, technically you want to kind of patrol in the front, but it's obviously guard is helping a bit more, and you did a bit more damage to the scout.
Yep.
But yeah, not a saving grace in this instant.
I think, and I don't think the devs will ever prioritize this because there's other things that they will prioritize and maybe should prioritize, but I think that action would be used way more frequently and way more helpful if the unit didn't follow so far behind. Like if it followed directly behind, then I think that could have been that monk could have been saved with it. But maybe it's good for the game, and it's good for the competitive scene, right? That you're incentivized to actually control your units.
Look at that.
No.
Ratha at the bottom now is guarding and is getting hit by the wolf.
He's he's not actually trying to protect the monk. He's like, can you help a brother out here? I need healed. Come on, heal me up.
Oh, man.
I wonder, I guess technically, because what happened in the other instance was that ACCM didn't have it on melee mode. So I think if you're going to do that, you want to have your unit on melee mode. That way, when it attacks, it does more damage against the scout.
Yeah. I really don't like how Ratha work right now with the same hotkey on melee mode and the CA mode. And that it's not really tough to visually see the difference as well.
It's tough to visually see the difference on both sides, right? So if you're defending, you don't know, and if you're attacking, it's hard to see. And I think if you double click them, it selects all of them, and it doesn't split them up unless they made the change there. Because capture age separates them. If you look at the Ratha in the middle and you're clicking them, it does separate them. But I'll tell you this: ACCM's got that control we talked about, doesn't he? He's got lots of army control, and he's actually going to kill a villager. Oh, no, he's not. Wait, yes, he is.
Oh, it's impossible to shoot now.
Oh, that's funny, because even for me, I kind of temporarily forgot. I temporarily forgot that you could switch to ranged mode there.
By the way, could you explain to me how someone spawning with the castle, having access to Chukanu, opts for the Arbalest direction? This feels like this. I'm going for the worst unit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about it. First off, what are you doing there with that villager there, ACCM? How is that Vil not dead? Okay. She's very dead now. The thing that people have struggled with against the Ratha is that they never go skirms. So the positive in this is that Liereyy could go Arb, force his opponent to continue to commit to Ratha, and then he has the archer ranges to go skirms. But that is weird. I don't think this is a first for me. I don't think I've seen this in Gold League or in Platinum League all season.
It just feels wrong. Like, you even have enough stone to build a second castle soon.
Yeah,
Chukunu are just so much better than Arbalest.
Yeah, I mean, even like, just look at the base attack of a Chukunu before it's elite, right? Before you talk about rocketry and all those technologies. 8 attack for a non-elite version.
Against armored elephants, against potential skirms. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, and I think ACCM will be surprised by it. So, I mean, there's that. But ACCM's got 4 relics. So if you're not competing for relics and you're not going for a crazy strong imp opening here, you're putting yourself under so much pressure.
But are you surprised? It's like rock, paper, scissor. And I go, rock, surprise. But actually a weaker rock than the other rock I could have gone for. But more of them right now.
Okay, so if we ever play rock, paper, scissors, you're not a big rock guy? You're more of a scissor guy or a paper guy?
Ooh, I will get in your head now if I answer that.
All right, well, in like
Paper.
a little over a month, we'll play rock, paper, scissors at NAC.
Okay. I will own you 3-0.
Okay. Ooh.
I'm really good at rock, paper, scissors.
Listen, I don't want to brag here, but in my friend group of 3 from my childhood, I always beat everybody.
Okay. Are we still talking about rock, paper, scissors though?
Yes, we're still talking
okay.
about that. We're good.
Okay.
So Liereyy now sees this. And so he's probably like, oh, okay. Liereyy doesn't see it. ACCM sees it. He can't take that gold, so he has to abandon that gold. He's going to head over to the right side to the neutral gold. Also has his scout active on the 4-tile gold to the right of Lierey's base. So Liereyy is going for a push. He's got Bracer, no Arbalest yet, just now getting Ballistics, but he is going to pressure the castles, and let's see how good these Rathas are able to perform. It's going to be Lycav and Arbalest for Liereyy. Upgrades just now coming in, and he's got 2 trebs on that castle, so he's applying pressure.
Conscription will take quite some time. Obviously, no elite Ratha yet. Arbalest timing, 15 seconds away, tries to micro away. Okay, reasonable. And honestly, this timing is tougher to hit with Chukunu. So if Liereyy played around this, I could see his reasoning.
Yeah. Yep. And you could produce the trebs out of the castles instead of having to produce the Chukunu. And he's got the trebs there. But I think ACCM's just going to try and take out these trebs as quickly as possible just to keep that castle up at home. He'll be happy with this. He will take some losses, but taking out those trebs delays Lierey's push.
Run with the Rathas, but lots of losses there. And that was costly. Loses the monks with that as well. And ACCM now with the deficit there for sure. And repairing that castle also means that his 3rd castle will be delayed.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of... Like, I think ACCM did a really good job in the mid-game Castle Age, but I'm not a fan of his positioning of his units, because I felt like he encountered the crossbowmen so late, and they were out there before they had imp upgrades. I feel like these 2 castles that have gone up for Liereyy could have been contested a little bit more. And Liereyy is on Arbs already, so he's forcing his opponent into skirms, and he already has Lightcap being teched, and he's massing them, so... We'll see if Liereyy can get the Treb number again to push, but it feels like he will have the army composition to be able to contest all of this.
Skirms obviously benefiting from the same upgrades as the Rathas, so will be pretty solid.
Yep.
And now stopped Rathas production, so he can go onto traps, and also behind this Elephant Archer switch. Hello!
Yeah, you like that, right? The Elephant Archers, that's been the unit that people have been getting excited about with the Megalis. So Skirms, Ratha, and then Elephant Archers. At least there's going to be something more than Skirms there so they can contest against the Lightcav. And it feels like this is going to be what decides this game. And Lierey's not even engaging with the Lightcav yet. He's just kind of dodging back and forth, soaking up these shots. But he's got to be careful. He doesn't have that many repair villagers here, Nili. So his castle could go down. And if he doesn't have the castle for security, I think the Elephant Archers and the Skirmishers could easily kill these Arbs.
Yeah, I think so as well. Against 4 traps, tough to repair, especially without hill bonus, basically impossible. And ACM gets a nice position here. I'm really surprised that Liereyy is still staying in this one. This castle should go up, and he should lose quite some Arbalest.
Well,
now he retreat.
You know, he didn't get any relics, right? So a big part of him might be thinking that if I don't hold this position, I just lose the game anyways. By the way, his Treb on the left side can see the tower with the flag in it. Like, he was staring at that the whole time. Probably didn't notice it, but I mean, there was a chance.
Now we have to ask, how big is Lierey's community game experience, though?
He probably has He doesn't have any on his resume, I've checked.
What is he doing Fridays then?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Well, did you see the multiple attempts from Sito in his series against Barles? He knew he was dead. He tried to snipe the king like 3 times.
Ooh,
it was
like
so
that.
cool.
I really appreciate that. I think people are not doing that enough.
Yeah, he went petards through walls. Actually broke through the walls at one point too. It was really close. Well, Liereyy, he's got good population here. He is going to eventually kill these elephant archers, but by the time he kills these 7 elephant archers, which are so tanky, he might lose his castles. ACCM worried, though, actually. He's going to back up with 2 of his trebs. He left 2 forward for some reason. And, oh, Lierey's found the villagers on the right. So Lierey's going to drop a castle there.
Pushes that away. Makes lots of sense. Game kind of stabilized, and now we are getting into the spot where I feel... It sounds so weird, but Onagers could be really, really nice here for ACCM.
I'm a little confused with what ACCM's doing. It's like he backed away with some of his trebs, and now he's moved forward. Trebs are kind of clunky to control, so I've kind of been there. But the elite skirms are out now, and I'm kind of getting some flashbacks from the Viper and Jordan game, where the Bengali player had lots of relics, and the elephant archers, while they were strong in some instances, just weren't enough. And Liereyy, he has faith in his non-unique units here. Skirmisher, Arbalest, Lightcav still getting upgrades, and he's going to push these castles from ACCM right back.
Okay, military count is not looking that crazy. Look at that, 24 only. 10 more elite elephant archers in the queue, but 1 castle will be gone. ACM not getting onto numbers.
It's just, like, elephant archers have been shown to be strong so many times, but they're so expensive. And skirmishers seem to be decent enough, I guess. I like the lack of hesitation here from Liereyy. I like how he's always pushing forward now. He realizes he's got ACCM on the ropes. And while I like the idea from ACCM to try and go for Lightcav, I think it is always kind of a bad sign when you hadn't planned for it at all and you're losing castles as you try and get this switch in.
Now he goes in a bit further. Skirms at the front. Liereyy only using half of his army. And this is like a 1-unit army composition. Elephant archers, I think some Lightcav at the front could be nice for them. Now some in the queue, but I don't think ACM should really take this fight.
Maybe he feels like he has to, right? Because if he loses the castle, he's in trouble. He is raiding with Ratha in the back, so we should see how long it takes Liereyy to react to that. But yeah, it's 55 units for Liereyy, and we've only got 22 elephant archers here in the front. And yes, they're staying alive, but ACCM's sinking so much stone into repairing this castle, and he still has no way to get to those trebuchets.
And now the second armor upgrade for ACCM. The Lightcav is even running into the Arbalest. Maybe not the greatest focus fire. And just imagine like 2-3 armored elephants there.
Yeah.
Could have helped out so much as well.
I like this
could
though.
Potentially threaten those traps.
I like how he's diving for the Arbs because suddenly the Lightcav are going to be very effective. Also, imagine if the Ratha that are still killing Eco in Lierey's base and he doesn't realize. Imagine if they find the king in that back tower. Ooh. He won't need to go for it now if he continues to kill all of Lierey's eco, because Liereyy still has not reacted, and ACCM is pushing Liereyy back yet again here.
Lovely stuff, and now he can kill the traps. Is he really saving that castle? Holy moly, lots of stone went in there.
No masonry.
Oh man.
I don't know how he kept that castle up. He's had so many villagers repairing it, and he does push Liereyy back further. Liereyy, you gotta notice you're getting raided. Lierey's down to 100 villagers.
Uh-oh, and losing more. Those are so strong. Heavy camel tech now. What?
He doesn't know what to do now. He feels like maybe that was his window. Nili, these Ratha have killed 40 villagers. 4 Ratha have killed 40 villagers. That's something that Liereyy had to notice there.
Oh man, that's really costly. And now it's 152 against 98 villagers. Mahayana is in, so will only count as 135. Now the last armor upgrade as well. ACM advancing and now pressuring the next castle.
Yep. Has his trebs ready. Let's see if Liereyy can recover here. He still has a higher army count. Elephant archers, they're just such an interesting unit, man. Sometimes it just looks awful. And then moments like that, it finally turns around, and you just think, how do you kill them? There's very little in between with elephant archers. It's either they suck or they're incredible. And that's with elephants in general, to be honest, in this game, just because of the cost and the HP.
Yeah. Best thing for them is something we very rarely talk about in random map. It is the pop efficiency.
Yep.
Because skirms, yeah, even if they're cost efficient, getting 100 on the map is pretty tough as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like camels, I guess they'll do a little bit of extra bonus damage against the light cap, but the Bengalis do resist some bonus damage too. So I feel like camel is just a really bad unit to be making here. Maybe a sign that Liereyy feels like he has to try something else. But then again, here he is, and he's using skirms, and he's whittling down the elephant archers again. And maybe ACCM needs to consider backing away with these Trebs.
Do you think both players watched the Viper Jordan game from yesterday? How much is it influencing them?
I would like to think that they both had seen it. Yes. As for like, did they sit down and watch every single second? Probably no. I would have thought that ACCM would have been the most prepared coming into this.
Right.
In general, but I mean, Lierey's performance has been so good and so consistent in Titans League, and he's seemed more prepared than I've seen him in a long time. But like, I'm telling you, these Trebs need to move out of here if you're ACCM. You're losing your elephant archers. And I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. I guess he's sniping arbs so the light cap can come in. Again, it's just such a hard unit for me to even wrap my head around, this elephant archer.
But compare economies, right? ACCM is sitting on 70. Yesterday, Jordan, he was at like 102 farmers at one point.
Yeah, and
so he got those light cap out so much better.
Yeah, and also, I think something that Viper did a really good job of was keeping a significant, like 10 to 15 arbs behind his skirms all the time. I don't know if you caught what I said afterwards, but Viper had a group of 9 arbs. Liereyy now has 8, and it was always sitting behind skirms. It had 100 kills at the end of the game. 9 arb list had 100 kills, and that just helps out that much more against the light cap when the light cap get close to the skirms. This is insane though. Like, I'm just not seeing, even with all this eco, I'm just not seeing the army for ACCM, and like, he doesn't have that much gold banks. He's not banking that much food. He's not progressing. I really think he needs to pack away with these Trebs. He's just using the Trebs on the Arbalest right now.
The Arbalest in the back, still dancing. I'm surprised how ACM is playing it now, mixing in some pikes here as well.
Yeah. Well,
no
maybe
regrouping, no raiding.
You remember the issue for Jordan was that Jordan had run out of gold, so he tried to go pikes, but then he had no gold to even get halb. So if you think it's going to go really late, you do want to make sure that you get your trash upgrades beforehand. But I think if it does go late, you actually would prefer to have the Chinese, because Chinese have full upgrades on trash units. I don't think they're missing anything, if I'm mistaken. The galleys aren't awful there, but they're not quite as strong.
Yeah. Well, the full blacksmith for sure. Hasa upgrade, the only thing that's missing.
Yep.
And let's look at eco upgrades. Actually, that's pretty brutal here. We have every single thing for ACM, and Liereyy still missing heavy plow and last wood upgrades.
I also think castle positions, as Liereyy is going to try and raid the right side, and ACCM was thinking of walling it, but the light cav are there. I also think castle positions are really important in these games. And there are 2 castles versus 3 right now, and it feels like the castles for Liereyy, particularly the one on the left, is very exposed if ACCM can ever get Trebs there. Even the one on the right, and the one on the right isn't fully protecting things, and ACCM is going to turn this into a raiding game. I like the decision here, Nili.
Ooh. And now only one single trap for Liereyy. Like, ACM can play the mobility card.
Yep.
I believe.
Telling you, he could also find the king. Look at his light cav. If he attacks a house and breaks in there, he could absolutely kill that king.
Is ACM thinking like that, though? Goes for the gate first.
Not the biggest fan of the gate, but light cav could find a treb. That would be huge. And the villagers. All of that's amazing. Okay, just passing.
It's like he right-clicked inside there. Okay.
That's a nice find. Treb might actually survive with the repairs, but I think the villagers can't catch up to it. Yep. Good raids from Liereyy, though, in the back of ACCM's base. ACCM has tracked some of it, though, with some pikemen.
And Arbalest actually chased those light cav away. That meant skirms were exposed at the front. That means another trap dies after the skirms are falling as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And yeah, all that ACCM's doing now is he's going to use the elephant archers as a defensive measure. And then the light cav are going to pick their spots with the raids. And remember, Liereyy had to recover after losing all those villagers earlier. He's going to have to recover again. But then again, ACCM losing villagers in the north. Raids, great move from Liereyy. And it becomes very difficult game for players to track at the moment. It's wide open on some of their sides, so they have to be very careful with their economies.
And still, like, if you have 130 villagers, you're simply playing with a bit more population than your opponent, right?
Yep.
That means a bit more light cav, you can have some more villagers, some better farms. It's just so beautiful if you get into the spot. And something we didn't really mention that normally we mention every 3 minutes, it is 4 relics to none.
Yeah, that's true. Normally that's brought up a lot more. Yeah, and ACCM will soon be out of gold that he's mining. Liereyy is, he's actually got maybe about 1,000 gold there, but it is really close by to these elephant archers and now the trebs that ACCM is bringing forward.
Light cav, raid in the back, yeah, all will be dealt with. Halberdier attack, masonry as well. The monk got a new first down, I would think, but we have to send another one. 3 traps, and soon Liereyy maybe down to 1 single castle.
Yeah.
And that one can easily get trapped as well.
Yeah, it's true. He's not going to be able to save that one. Architecture right now makes sense. The raids from Liereyy make sense. I like the raid a lot. Like, if he's going to survive this game, it needs to be by out-raiding ACCM. And it clearly has worked. In the north, he's killing villagers. He now has more villagers in general, but oh man, that might not stay the case, excuse me, if this main push from ACCM continues to advance.
So much meat there, holy moly. Yeah, and they're just going to continue pushing in.
I'm still not the biggest fan of ACCM not keeping a healthy vill count. He's still way behind on the amount on food, but he will take the castle. And behind that, there's gold miners too. Not a bad find.
Yeah, enough vills in the queue as well, though, to replenish those losses. He will cut off the gold and is trying to set up some raids at the left side. Instantly found by Liereyy, though. And it still feels like ACM is doing a better job of pushing than Lierey's doing a job of raiding.
Yeah, I'm glad he stopped forcing the issue with the elephant archers. He was forcing the issue for a while, and then he just waited for his time. And now it seems like he's kind of trying to force the issue again. Elephant archers are expensive here. You might have the relics, but we've seen instances where the relics aren't enough. So maybe you back up to your castles and just wait for some light cap support there. Population for Liereyy still way above in army and also in eco. I guess not really in eco, but I guess by what the game considers population. He's ahead in eco.
It's crazy how food intense Bengalis are, right? 70 farmers, absolutely at the limit, and not an impressive queue behind this.
Yeah.
Like, you can really throw in food units here non-stop.
And so, for now, I think you've got to conserve the elephants, back away. Liereyy, this is your time. Lierey's got 2 trebs. Liereyy feels like he could do this right now. And like you said, Nili, like, there's so many instances with Bengalis where it feels like they can close it out and they can do this. But I've seen enough examples of it where if it goes late, even with the relics, it might not end up being enough because you cannot field the same amount of military units. And Lierey's economy, somehow after he lost 30 villagers earlier, is just so much stronger. It's bringing in more resources, I think. I'm going to check resources collected. He hasn't even collected more. So what do I know?
Eco upgrades.
Yeah.
Right?
That could be a big part of it.
Maybe a thing, plus obviously the big raid earlier, right? Where he went down to 90 villagers or something.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so ACCM has to mass back up. I also like the gate he's adding between his castles because Liereyy ran through there before. He doesn't want that to happen again. Liereyy, I think, is hoping it's there, is clicked beyond there, but won't find a hole unless he breaks through houses. Liereyy switching to the left side, though. But Liereyy, you have to protect your trebuchets.
Uh-oh, that will be low HP traps, if not one even dying here. Market price is really good still, by the way.
Ooh, interesting.
100 for both.
You would have expected that the Liereyy would have sold because of not having the relics, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still really bothered me how long it took him to get that one relic, but he did get it. He just recently got that relic, so at least he has one. Right side could be a concern for Liereyy, and again, the king is in that tower. ACCM has seen it countless times. He's got a siege elephant in that siege workshop, Nili. There is a chance.
Oh, you're a dreamer, Tristan.
It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
Okay. Now, ACM is getting closer to an overboom even with Mahayana. I think 154 vills with what you're going for is not the way to go.
I like 150, just because the issue for him hasn't been... The issue for him is he's never floating res, and he doesn't have consistent production, so I think it's better to have a max of 60 army that's consistently produced than, you know, maybe having more pop space, but not being able to consistently queue. But I can see exactly what you mean. You don't want to be capped at what you can produce. Okay, this is the moment, Nili. This is the moment. Right side. Elephants, they're going to have to go somewhere else after that TC goes down. I'm telling you. Come on. Come on, ACCM. Make a move for the king.
He has really good units for it. Rathos are great at killing kings, obviously.
Yeah, should be. Okay, Trebs. Oh, important moment here in the middle. ACCM with 2 Trebs on the final castle? Yes, the final castle for Liereyy.
Liereyy, maybe. Look at his queue. Over 90 units, over 100 units in the queue now.
It's just, does he have the right units? And that was our initial question when we saw the Arbalest opening. And we didn't see the skirms initially. I mean, we can't say he hasn't had a great game here. He's fought on valiantly, but he now has 0 castles.
And lost all his Arbalests. He lost every Arbalest there. Oh, that was his backbone against the light calf behind.
Yep, true.
Oh, now he needs to attack into Harbardius, I believe.
Well, he clicks Pikeman.
Oh, yeah, he does.
So he agrees, but does that give you the answer with all the things that Bengalis have and what it is 4-1 with relics? Not to mention that the relic that he has is right next to all of this, so he could even lose the only golden come he has right now.
Market price is still good, but he's not floating a lot of resources. ACM playing out of his mind this game.
Yeah, great recovery. There's so many instances where it kind of felt like the Bengalis had fallen flat for him. And he's really focused on the sides well with the raids, and feels like he's going to be able to grind Liereyy down. Liereyy, I mean, there's no question, top 5 player in the world. You and I both think right now, ACCM top 6 player in the world, right? Whether you put him 4th, 5th, 6th, I don't know. He's certainly been one of the best players in Titans League, and he's yet to win an S-tier tourney.
Yep.
He could do it. If he beats Liereyy, he can beat anybody, right?
Yeah. Probably considered one of the 3 or 4 best players to never win an S-tier tourney.
Yeah,
MBL, Willisse, John. Yeah, those I believe. And whoa, takes it here.
Wow, ends up taking it. Didn't kill the king, sadly, but you know, we never really expected as much as we might hope for it. And you had mentioned the Bengalis. I think the words you used were, if the Bengalis are played correctly, the Chinese have no answer. And whether or not this was played perfectly, it's very hard to play perfect when Lierey's playing so good. I'm not sure. But ACCM had to recover a couple times there. At the end of the day, his approach was great. He got relics. Liereyy didn't even contest the relics much. I think he killed 1 monk with the starting scout, and that was it. And Liereyy wasn't able to finish off ACCM on ACCM's home map. And ACCM will also have fortified clearing, another closed map where Liereyy could potentially struggle. So Liereyy needs to respond here on his final remaining home map, and he has to win 2 straight, or he is not going through to the semifinals in Titans League Season 2.
And on my books, ACM should have a pretty solid civ advantage there on fortified clearing.
Okay.
I think we have to play ad stacks, and that's not a pretty one.
You want to hear an interesting, you want to hear a fun fact?
Yes.
Liereyy didn't even make the quarterfinals in the first season of Titans League. He lost to Yo in a round of 12.
Okay.
So two big names, right? And neither of them won their groups, and so Liereyy had made it to the quarterfinals, but he's got to make it further here. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, some momentum is going to be needed here for Liereyy. Very well played from ACCM to execute. Here we are. Well, for all the Liereyy fans out there who are concerned for him, remember that we had the exact same situation in the first 2 quarterfinals. We had a player go down 2-1, and then it went to the 5th game in quarterfinal number 1 and in quarterfinal number 2. So Liereyy obviously could take it to the 5th game here in quarterfinal number 3. He's playing as the Lithuanians, a civ that I think is the best on this map. They have so many options. The starting food that they have can lead to early dock play. But we do have the Byzantines on the other side. And the thing about the Byzantines, Nili, is while they don't have any bonuses that really scream at you and get you out of your seat and get excited about, they're just consistent, and they're pretty good at everything.
Let's get you excited about some Byzantine bonuses. Give me a prediction. A Byzantine feudal age fire galley against a Lithuanian castle age fire ship. Who wins with how many HP left?
What the? This isn't a quiz show, but okay. Well, the fact that you're asking this question makes me think that the Byzantine Feudal Age Fire Galley wins. I'm going to say Byzantine Fire wins with 8 HP.
It's crazy. The Fire Galley in Feudal Age actually wins. It's a bit less than 8 HP, but that a feudal unit beats the equivalent Castle Age unit is just crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. How much fire do they faster? Or how much faster do they fire? Excuse me. Do you have the stats on that? Because I always known that they work faster, but I never really knew the percentages.
I think it's 20% faster because they are basically even 100 HP against 120 HP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple instances where I've been wowed, let's say, by those Byzantine fires. Well, the big thing about Lithuanians is they have the potential to dock you and to kill your fish before you can even make those fires, and they can do it early. And ACCM...
Scout of ACCM?
Oh, that was close. ACCM also has the respect that the Lithuanians can go for fast castle, and that was something that Yo had done many times with the Lithuanians. He had done it twice in the group stage. Lix then did it. It was surprisingly, right, Nili? Almost like Yo told him to do it in the Gold League. So that would be my worry, is you might prep for them to somehow sneak a villager and take out your fishing ships, but they might not even show up. So right now, as the scouts engage in the middle, ACCM was trying to find Liereyy. He found his TC, but he still doesn't know where Liereyy is docked. I'm sure he's going to want to loop over there and find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bit more obvious where ACCM is docking, I believe, than where Liereyy would be docking.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the center again. This time decides for the more defensive way. Obviously, if Byzantines play like one dock each pawn against one dock each pawn of Lithuanians, that's the dream for Byzantines.
Yep, that's true. Okay, this time ACCM walls in the Ville. Actually, no, ACCM did wall in the Ville in game 2, but it didn't matter. I don't think there should be any issues here. And you can
He's
tell,
looking for it.
Yeah, you can tell he tried and it didn't work there. So the dock goes up. So Liereyy knows about the dock position. And ACCM is going to check now. He's being very thorough about this because, again, there's just so many things you can do. You could also just not dock a second pond at all. And you can just simply go for Man-at-Arm Archer. And that, on the back of good fishing economy, is already extremely dangerous in the hands of Liereyy. There he goes. He's going to find this, most likely. So how do you open as Byzantines here, Nili? All the things that I said, what would be your most comfortable opening with the Byzantines?
Trying to be sneaky. I'm like... Now I'm revealing all my tricks. I'm sending 2 villagers for the opponent's dock.
Ooh,
because people always, after finding one will, feel so safe.
Okay.
So I send one the short way next to the wood line. Then they find me and there will be, haha, I found your sneak will. And then I send another one at the top at the same time.
Well,
and
I guess
the opponent never cares.
I guess you also could send 2 vills together. Oh my god, Liereyy just loses his scout. That's massive. What in the world? I feel like he should have known based on what he saw, but clearly he just didn't have the right gauge or game sense on where the TC was. Now you can sneak a Vill. Now you can make a run for it. Let's just hope, though, that ACCM doesn't hug the edge of the map and run behind Lierey's woodline, only to find that that is actually connected there.
Liereyy with an early barracks. I've seen Men-at-Arm plays. Oh, and it's going to be one from Lithuanians as well. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, also, both players are sending a villager, and they might cross each other in the middle of the map near that relic.
Not really the spot where you're looking at that time. So even if they're seeing each other, not guaranteed that both players will notice.
Yeah, but it is guaranteed that it'll be funny for us. And there you go. See you later. Did ACCM see the flag on the barracks there? He just went back to the barracks, but he missed the militia. I wonder if he expects this. He is walling like he's seen it, though.
Oh, yeah. He's scared. It's also such an early barracks timing that you think it has to be Men-at-Arms, right?
Yeah.
Because if the opponent is going archers or the rear scouts on cross, the barracks could be delayed.
And going for Men-at-Arms when you do not have your scout is bad for a lot of reasons. The main reason, of course, is scouting, but the secondary reason is you like to block with that scout. And not being able to block could be painful. Look at this. ACCM should see it a mile away. He's Byzantines, free town watch, and ACCM prep the walls in the other areas. He's going to prep the walls here. He's going to go archers. He doesn't have the wood yet, Nili. And he has to be careful, but he is with a villager along the shoreline there of Lierey's pond.
Yeah, that's obviously a lot of wood investment. Trying to wall like 3 different spots. Can't really collect all the wood at that moment. Also, the archer range has to go for 1 archer at least. So that's going to be a delayed dock for sure.
Yep. Also has his scout in the north, so he's seen now that Lierey's docked there and will fish. So that's something he can pay attention to later. The scout's weak, though. Can't kill the villager as long as the villager's paying attention. So I think ACCM will go back for that. But let's see if Lierey's paying attention, and Lierey's paying attention. That's beautiful.
8 HP against 16. Maybe something where like archer micro's happening and you just try to patrol in on the minimap. No, he's sending a spearman in that direction.
Ooh.
Oh, suicides the scout.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of losing the scout. I am the biggest fan of placing the dock. And this is just precisely what you would want with Byzantines. If the archer needs to survive and the archer barely survives. Whew, that was close.
Follow-up should be pretty scary. 2 skirms arriving soon. That tower on the gold. Maybe a bit late, but you probably can wall be in front of it.
Yeah, I like the tower idea. Usually I wouldn't like the tower, but I like it. And he's also getting some walls down here. It's important because the man-at-arms will come over. So crazy opening here from Liereyy. He's been working off of 6 fishing ships. He's had the better economy. He has tons of potential here with this army. It's Liereyy after all. He could lose all of his fish and he could win the game on land. But he doesn't want to lose his fish, and we'll see if the fires can actually be made for ACCM right now in that area.
Absolutely needs that to happen. Is evacuating the second wood line there, so we'll get really inefficient. Not the prettiest spot for him. Also, neither player really contesting the bottom, so Liereyy, he has to be happy with how this open is going.
Yeah, let's see if Lierey's making more man-at-arms? Lierey's on 5 man-at-arms?
What?
What? Okay. I mean,
very rarely see that.
Yeah, it's not a Liereyy thing to do. I also feel like the 3 man-at-arms have already gotten some value. But let's see if he can track the archers from ACCM, because ACCM's headed towards his gold. ACCM already is going to have Liereyy distracted on the pond, and there is a reaction here from Liereyy. Very nice reaction. He does have fast skirmishers, so he can catch up to the archers, but he doesn't have armor yet. So good work from ACCM. While he loses an archer, he could probably kill this skirm.
Engagement now a bit at the left side. Archers indeed will survive. 1 skirm for the defense. Lithuanians should be able to deal with that. And Liereyy, I'm still not sure with the 5 man-at-arms what he will find. Obviously, if he takes a straight-up fight, he will always win. But I think he would have won with 3 men-at-arms as well. And even goes for armor. What are we witnessing?
On paper, I kind of like it. Because he's got a lot of land control. And you don't want to fall behind in skirm numbers against Byzantines. And Byzantine's a very cheap skirm. So I think that's his worry, is even though his skirms are faster, man-at-arms feels like good map presence against skirms. And look at the control from Liereyy now. He's going to attack the archer range on top of the hill. So he will eventually take this out if ACCM doesn't control it. Liereyy also has defended his fish. He hasn't lost much there. And he's also chasing away the archers. So this is amazing.
Yeah, just crazy aggression. And ACCM's map was just really bad if we look at it, right? Berries open, gold open, both wood lines, impossible to wall. So typically Byzantines wants to play a more defensive game and doesn't want to invest that much onto land, but wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the man-at-arm pressure can do, right? Like if you take a quick glance at Lierey's map would be horrible too if he's got 6 man-at-arms and skirms and all types of things at his base. And it's just, while water is important and Byzantines are so good at that, land is what the Lithuanians are able to do a little bit better, at least early. And man, losing this archery range and still having not killed any fish from Liereyy, I don't know how you come back from this if you're ACCM. This is ridiculous. He's got 11 man-at-arms.
What? What? I didn't even realize he queued up more. What is he pulling villagers now? He's trying to rush that tower.
This is sick. Lierey's angry. Lierey's angry. He wants to take it to a game 5. Oh my god, I mean, it's so risky, right? Like, the tower's so bold. The running underneath this tower and the town center's bold too, but he's doing it anyways. And ACCM's like, well, if there's ever a chance, maybe my tower can help me. But ACCM just doesn't have the numbers. He's got 7 army, 6 army. It's 19 for Liereyy right now.
Oh man, committing there. Men-at-arms are so good at killing villages. That's why you never see someone engaging against all those men-at-arms. Tower really low on HP. We need to see some repair. ACM will have heavy losses.
Yeah, he will, and he can't take gold. And the eco efficiency is unreal for him. He has killed more fishing ships from Lierey's starting pond. He did also get a dock up in the north. I'm not sure. No, he didn't lose the villagers either. So that's actually very well played from ACCM. But now he needs gold somewhere.
Ooh, can go maybe a bit more to the north of his berries. That would be the other only spot. Skirmish is trying to make the defense happen. His tower still staying strong. Byzantine advantage.
Yeah, and like if Liereyy loses this game, we will look at the 15 or so man-at-arms that he's produced, and we will say, maybe that was a bit much. I didn't mind the 6. The 6 felt efficient there. It took out the archer range. But a lot of times people are going to save resources and try and get to Castle Age. What is happening here?
And Liereyy idles see a lot behind this, simply because he doesn't have the food income.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now more builds being pulled again.
The man-at-arms are all dying to the tower, though, from ACCM. ACCM's tower is 13 kills right now. That's a third of the kills that he's ended up getting in this game. I'm not seeing many more men-at-arms here. Tower goes down for Liereyy. ACCM's still kind of holding, but I guess, like, the theme here is still, it's just, he's taking so much damage all the time. How can he ever stabilize?
Tower got kill number 17 already now. 5 villagers inside, though. And Liereyy is kind of reclaiming water, though. At the top now, unleashing 3 against 2. And Liereyy kind of won his own pond. All played behind the scenes.
Yeah, ACCM wasn't really able to think about a dock in the south at all. That's been freed up for either player. Didn't add that many fishing ships in his in his original pond, and Liereyy just shifted that pressure now, kills another vill, and maybe get one more. He does get one more, and it's 15-10 on the eco KD. This might be the craziest eco KD we've seen in a game where only a couple fishing ships have gone down on cross.
Yeah. That's so many villagers there for sure. Very high for cross standards. Just think about like 31 against 39 villagers at a 22-minute game.
Look back at Lierey's economy, though. He's got 13 farms. Feels like the perfect amount left on the berries. It's not overkill, just 4, just relax. Second mining camp on the gold. And so despite all the man-at-arm production, he's probably going to win that race to Castle Age, and there's still no response from ACCM against all this pressure.
I know. I'm not surprised that you like those farms.
Thank you, Nili. Actually, the 2 farms there, that's true. That's true. Those are some T90 farms for sure. Oh, God. Don't tell me he's going to be able to take out the dock.
Oh, we would need a demo against it, maybe against the men-at-arms. 30%, so might actually pop. But could be blocked by the tree there. Nah, not really.
I think the demo will kill them, especially because the one that's farthest away from the shoreline is on 2 HP. So that would probably die. Here we go. Big moment. ACCM needs this. Kill the man-at-arms. Not bad.
Catch them. Another
All right.
men-at-arm popping. Scums around, but yeah, just look at it. Like on the way to Castle Age, getting the stable, getting armor against a guy that sits on 26 food.
Yep. Yeah, you would need to kill a whole lot of villagers right now, it feels like, if you're ACCM, and this is his counterattack army, and that counterattack army is just going to be found by the skirms from Liereyy anyways. And so, hindsight being 2020 and everything, I really like the additional aggression from Liereyy. He didn't allow the Byzantine player to focus on the water, take the gold and wood consistently, and again, great find here with the skirms. And very rarely are you ever going to see a player at this level reach the Castle Age this much faster and end up losing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The only scenario is that if you're behind like 10, 15 villagers trying to count on your tech advantage, but the opponent walls up. But that's not the case, right? He's ahead in builds. Fish is kind of even. He still has massive amount of army. So all the transitions already prepared, basically.
Yeah, it almost feels very similar to the situation ACCM was in Game 2. Only obviously in Game 2, how the ACCM fell behind was a bit different. So, market's there. You are Byzantines. You can afford some crazy things on lower eco and lower control. So, you could buy some food if you're ACCM. Now, how many times has he had to leave his berries or his stone or his gold this game? It's just constant.
Yeah, the raids. And also, because we fought so much next to the gold, I think that's one of the reasons why ACCM couldn't consistently produce fire galleys and contest the pawns properly.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, the man-at-arm pressure just came in so fast. I think that might be the first time I've seen someone with Lithuanians go man-at-arms. It shouldn't be.
Gao did it as well.
It shouldn't be that uncommon, I think. Like, but normally it's been the Japanese that have been executing that. The Doc goes down for ACCM. He does still have fires though, so that's nice. But the main thing we're focusing on is will he die to the Knights and the skirms. Obviously, Liereyy could add town centers. He could drop a monastery, maybe get some relics. But ACCM not willing to quit. He does know that he's got fortified clearing as his home map, and it would be advantage to him possibly with the civilizations in a game 5. But if you can finish him off now, you do it. So just try your best here. Hope that camels can do it for you, I guess.
Oh, camels will be good against skirm knights. The thing is, though, opponent has lots of time to get onto a lot of monks. You are not doing too well against monks. Plus, obviously, the extra attacks after the relics got collected for those knights. So it's a tricky spot, but I can see why ACM still stays in it.
I know this game isn't super close right now, but I still love the fact that Liereyy went for double monastery. I think it is a move that players need to do more on cross, because early Castle Age cross is oftentimes knight raids, right? Knights are camels, and like sometimes healing of the monks or getting conversions can make such a big difference. And all knights are in on the gold. That's gonna hurt.
He opened the walls. Oh, beautiful.
And I think once ACCM realizes this, and then maybe hears his first Wololo, I think that might be when he realizes he needs to tap out. He is only behind by 7 eco, which is pretty crazy. I'm surprised that's even possible here. And he does have 2 stables making camels.
But his pawn is out of deep fish.
Yeah,
So only shorefish, 3 shorefish there. It's going to be really ugly. While Liereyy, he's red on his fish.
Yep. We also have 2 relics, so those knights are going to have +3 attack with the attack upgrade. And then also the relics. I'm sure he's going to get more as well. He's being so bold as to even go for the furthest one, where the skirmisher's protecting it. And taking out the blacksmith too, which means no more upgrades for ACCM. But yeah, the main thing for the camels is usually just the numbers, right? Because bonus damage is huge with the camels.
Let's see, is ACM trying to take an engagement? Just feels like the relic or the monk count is too high there. He can heal up all those knights, has the heal advantage there as well. Now Liereyy even jumps. I don't think that's the greatest move, though.
No, you don't want to donate any kills here. I probably was a little surprised. I mean, he's had this guy surrounded for a while, so he's probably thinking, when are you just going to call it quits? And he's going to have fun with the attack of the Lithuanians. He's even getting iron casting. Let's go. Full armor, full attack, and what will it be? 4 relics? Wow, +6 attack incoming.
He will have all 5 relics, yeah. It's pretty crazy. Those camels should melt, right? With only 1 armor?
Yeah, they should get destroyed. I hope for science they take a fight without any monks. They won't do it, but just for us, they should just fight with the knights straight up against the camels and see what happens.
Would be nice for entertainment. Atonement finished as well, by the way.
This is nice from ACCM, counter-attacking. That's really important, because if you take the straight-up fight, we think it will be bad for you.
Upgrades are just brutal. Basically, +6, +2 bloodlines against
House?
10 armor.
No? Okay. I'm surprised Liereyy didn't try and quick wall there. I guess when Leary's controlling monks, he doesn't focus on the quick walls as much. And okay, ACCM getting some kills. He will probably lose his entire army, but now camels on the front are killing some skirms. The monks haven't gotten a conversion yet. That's something for ACCM. I think this is definitely falls into the category, there's the quick walls, of something he had. This was his best chance, was a counterattack and avoiding the main army. But still going to be a massive army that could just start taking out town centers pretty soon, in theory.
Big problem, though. Camels not great in killing villagers, and those knights really good at killing those camels.
Yep.
So if you wanted to use those camels, you kind of want to have them dealing the damage against the knights to somehow kill them. Now he's sitting on 5 camels against 12 knights.
Yeah, and 9 monks that have atonement. He just realized that atonement was in too, because he deleted one of his monks. Again, ACCM trying everything he can. As atonement comes in for him, watch how fast this TC goes down to 12 knights. It's not that many. And it's a Byzantine town center as well.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. No HP knights could be microed back, not really going for it. Oh man, that's something we very rarely see in competitive Age of Empires.
Yeah, TC Byzantine TC with 3100 HP going down like that is definitely rare. And Lierey's he's like, come on, ACCM, I want to kill you. Just come out and fight me. We got another counterattack camel. That'll get cleared up. And now monks on monks at ACCM's base. Camels are looping in. Camels can be converted as well. This tower is the MVP, though. It continues to be in positions to get so many kills.
Could be converted.
Oh, yeah, true. Should convert it.
Oh, the house in front of it is blocking. Maybe a knight could sneak through. Monk could sneak through. Yeah. Population leader is getting really out of control now.
Yeah, it feels like ACCM should know, but if you were to play 1,000 games like this and win one of them in a tournament, it would be worth it. You know, just play on a little bit longer. Wait till Liereyy actually kills you. A lot of people would have GG'd by now. 3 TCs for Liereyy. He might go for a get out of my game castle and drop a castle forward. He's banking up the stone right now.
And like HCM, if this is the ladder game, he's already out of it.
For sure.
But yeah, Byzantines and the dream. Fish is gone. He is getting some more fish at the bottom though, so maybe something to increase his eco. Yeah, but it's not looking pretty at the front.
Yeah, and I don't think someone said maybe he's tilted. I don't think that's the situation. I think he knows he's dead. He's playing on, and he's going to give it his best shot, and that's the end of it, right? There are some obvious signs in some instances where a player might be frustrated. I don't think there's frustration. I think he's gonna realize that this game's likely over, and that game 5 he should be favored with the civilizations and also with the type of map.
That's a super safe castle.
Yeah, seriously. Like, also, have you ever encountered a situation where you feel like you're dead, but your opponent just won't kill you? And you're just like, dude, just kill me. Like, I want to resign, but you haven't made siege yet, or you haven't like done this yet. Like, what's happening? Maybe that's it. That happens for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, certainly happened before to me as well.
A couple conversions there on monks for Liereyy. As he dives, he is making the safest castle in the world for his type of lead. But again, there's not an awful lot of good things from ACCM, and ACCM taps out. And that was just a very unique style from Liereyy. I wish I knew how many total man-at-arms he made. Must have been 15, because at one point he had 11, and I know he lost some and made more afterwards. Not only that, but he went for armor, and he went for attack in the feudal age. Crazy.
That's so sick. I don't remember ever seeing that.
Not from Liereyy, right? Like, you could see it from, like, maybe some other players, but that's not a very Liereyy thing to do. But, you know, you and I had talked about it before the series. He isn't always doing the same thing. He's able to think outside the box more, and Liereyy had to do it there. 9,000 more resources collected there. Very dominant display despite the KD showing it's even. And we will move on to a Game 5 in the third quarterfinal, just like we did in quarterfinal number 1 and number 2. Winner moves on to the semi. This has been a crazy series, Nili. I'm pumped. Here we are, Game 5. And, well, Nili, I wonder if this is what Liereyy wanted. Because, again, Regicide Fortress, it was Liereyy versus Ganji. So, Liereyy experienced it himself. He went for Burmese. Ganji had gone for the Turks. And the Liereyy shredded. To quote Daniel, who said it immediately when he saw the Civ matchup, he said, Liereyy literally eat Jannies for breakfast. Okay? And you might look at this and you might say, oh, there's stone walls. Okay, it's the same Civ matchup. Oh, that could be really good again. But it's very different, isn't it? Because you don't start with the castle, you don't have the towers. And not starting with the castle means you might need to think twice about making your unique unit at all here.
I'm a bit surprised that a Remba is actually the option. If I'm thinking about this matchup, I'm thinking about elephants. That are completely unanswered for Turks. So you basically open like Monk Rush, but only like 2 TC, and like 2 monasteries, 2 TC, and try to get into your 60, 70 farms.
Yep.
And the moment you get into elephants, there's no answer that Turks has.
I mean, you're not wrong, and we've seen examples of it, not with the Burmese, but we saw it with the Bengalis. Dark had this crazy comeback victory against Draken. Draken was like all in, 2 castles, 1 TC. Eventually, Dark pushes back the castles with a faster imp. The eco's even. Draken has the relics. Turks are going for Sapahi and heavy camel. So you're thinking cav archers and camels will eat the elephants. Nope. Wasn't even close. So yeah, you need to try and abuse the fact that Turks can't go halb here and the fact that Turks can't go elite skirm. So I don't think, like, because Burmese don't really have the best range units, I don't really think you can abuse the fact that they don't get elite skirm as much. And maybe elephants. But again, though, how do you get there? It feels like it's just so expensive.
Yeah, that's true. You need to buy yourself some time. And, well, if you face the Janissary all in, some early castles, it is tricky to get there. But, well, you have Monk Rush options that can buy you a lot of time. But also, it's tricky to transition from a Monk Rush into a good economy.
It is exciting at this stage. You know, we had the 5.5 weeks of group stage. We then had the playoffs. And now we're here in the quarters. It's exciting now with best of fives, where we have to see new things, right? For ACCM, I'm sure he's excited that he can go for something that has been tried and tested and he understands. But it's exciting for us to be able to see this and have this conversation. That's why I like to switch up the draft a little bit too, beyond the group stage. Just changes the player's approach entirely.
And obviously, making the sets longer also means that players have to play different civilizations. By the way, Liereyy goes for really far deer push from the edge of the map.
Oh, true. That's a bit weird. I guess he was scouting that area and saw the deer and said, why waste the time to head over to the right when I can just bring in this deer? Well, okay, so I think the more standard approach of competing for relics is normally quite... Okay, Boar's not chasing his villager, Liereyy.
Not the worst thing since he got the deer, but is realizing it a reasonable time.
The more standard approach of competing for relics is a bit easier for the Turks here because of the Lycav upgrade being free. But the Burmese do have vision on all the relics, which in this generation is actually massive because normally it's 2 relics on either side on the outside, but it's actually 4 relics in the south. And he sees that now.
I would have said it's even more likely that it's 4 at one side.
Yeah, maybe.
From the generations that I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to confirm that it is indeed 4-0 instead of 2-2 and in which direction they are. The Burmese will get the idea. And that's even more surprising that he's walling in that direction. Kind of meaning, okay, I don't want to contest that area, at least not for now.
Yeah, then there's walling as well from ACCM, which makes us think it's definitely fast castle. There have been some games where you could go feudal age play, but I don't think that Platinum has really been doing too much of that. The other thing about the Outer Ring, and I had many discussions prior to this season trying to make sure that things were consistent. And basically, you have that many relics, it's not possible to have it be consistent, as you can see here. But the golds and the stones also differ. So each player will have 2 big gold piles near their base. One is almost always bordering the wood line. But then there's 2 extra golds and there's 2 extra stones. So in this case, it looks like the 2 extra golds are also towards the south. And then one of those stones is down there with the golds. So there's really, in terms of the neutrals, Nili, there's just that 1 stone in the north. So the north is not going to be near as important here.
Yeah, feels like it. Kind of interesting. And that's a bit more of the long distance area. Wouldn't be surprised if most of the fighting is happening through the center, though. At least both players are walling off the sides quite a bit. And in the center, in contrast to Arena, you get some hills. So getting the nice early position on a hill and get your castle and fight someone on flat ground is really nice. Yeah,
and it's just so much easier for those slow monks to be able to get the relics from the middle. So very rarely are you going to see players take the sides first. It's just important to bring up. And Lierey's going to go for a barracks here. So at least from what I can see, I think Liereyy will try and compete for the middle control with some scouts. And no signs that ACCM is going to do anything different. I think of this uptime and that many farms, he's most likely going to be doing the same.
Liereyy actually went for Loom. Now sending a village out. No, thinks better of it. It's a bit inconsistent there in his thinking. Is scouting the walls as well. So he knows, okay, unlikely that you will put some aggression from the bottom.
And we're going to see the scout come back for ACCM. It is a little bit weak. That could be a talking point if he doesn't heal it up. He took a couple hits against the villager. And I don't know when Liereyy actually got Loom. But because I just wasn't expecting it. But the villager was never really in jeopardy there. So maybe he had the Loom upgrade pretty early because he was walling. I don't know.
Well, maybe expecting some aggression, but I'm a bit surprised as well.
So what do you think about the light cab opening? Do you like it or hate it for Burmese?
I don't like it, probably. It's just like you're playing into the cards of your opponent. Your spearmen do a bit more damage. Not the most important thing, obviously, but I'd just go monk spearmen if I was Burmese.
Okay.
Or just like go for massive monks.
I will say I like the fact that he's trying to do this with an eco civ, right? Like, Burmese, getting those wood upgrades, very helpful. And that wood's going to lead to farms. You obviously don't need to spend resources on the upgrade either, so you just float a bit more. So I could conceivably see him making slightly more to contest the middle. Obviously, then he does have to research light cav, though, so depends what you prefer. But the Burmese eco has always felt very strong to me. It's just always been, are the Burmese going to be good enough if they don't get good elite skirmishers? And lacking the final armor on skirms has been enough for people to just not love the Burmese on in most cases. And if they are even preferring the Burmese, they're just not going into your standard type of game. They're going something wacky with monks. Or maybe the wackiness will be elephants. I don't know, man.
Although Burmese is getting more love now. I think people are realizing that skirms are not really the craziest unit if you want to counter the opponent. People tend to go more Knight Mangonel nowadays.
Yeah.
So I think Burmese, they're ranked higher by pro players than we actually see them in tournaments.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. And I think the other thing about Burmese is there are some really good matchups, even on Arabia, if you can get them. So, playing like... This is an MBL thing I did years ago. But like, yeah, okay, like Burmese Goths, obviously. But like, I feel like Burmese Franks isn't actually horrible.
That's what MBL picked in Red Bull.
Red Bull, and then he was up against Tatars. He tried to mind game, I remember that.
Against Stout, yeah. Hart got so angry.
Yeah, Hart was like, you're such a good player. He's like, you don't have to mind game. Stop being fancy. I remember that. Well, okay, good start for Liereyy here. He's got 3 full HP scouts. Light cab will be in 10 seconds for ACCM, so he has to be careful. ACCM checking it, thinking about it. Now we'll turn and fight maybe. And now Liereyy runs away. No, he doesn't. I'm surprised.
Okay, takes some hits here. 3 against 4. Now the monastery on both sides. A spearman added. Only on the Turk side.
Lierey's upgrades will be in shortly. He gets the hill, so this is before he gets his upgrades. But he had the hill. And it's an interesting little fight here. Every light calf matters. This is game 5. And both players have played so insanely well here that whoever wins this could win the whole thing. So, a nice little moonwalking light calf there. And these two light calf, are they going to make it home? Liereyy follows.
To your town center.
Whoa.
He really wants to dive in deep.
I mean,
is that the right play?
I think diving here is a big mistake, and clearly I'm correct on that. As the 2 light cav go down, and the monk can still come out and still heal up those 2 weak light cav for ACCM.
And that should mean Liereyy should lose a lot of map control here.
Yep.
Ooh, what's our relic prediction now?
Well, I think the fact that ACCM hasn't scouted the south at all makes it very interesting in the long term. But at least in the middle, I think we see 4-1 for ACCM.
Yeah, not unlikely. One spawning relatively close for Liereyy. Maybe even the second one. Could still be 3-2. It feels like the relic spawn was actually better for Liereyy here.
Yeah, it also does depend on their approach. Like, obviously they're going for the straight up fights, but you also could still have fewer light cav and snipe monks if you just loop a couple units around. But this is the problem for you. Lierey's trying to block, and he might actually convert some units here, but he will absolutely lose all of his monks. He doesn't get a conversion. Great snipes there from ACCM.
Now the monks behind, taking the spot on the hill, trying to go for the conversions now. And yeah, that also means Liereyy will be tougher for him to get a relic now.
Yeah. This one monk is still continuing its initial conversion, by the way. He hasn't given up on it. Hard to notice as a player, but that could actually have led to a conversion. Now he's just going to heal.
Behind this 3 TCs even for ACCM. His eco could be really good.
Yeah.
Holy moly, how is Liereyy at 1 TC only?
He's had
17
to
farms.
recuperate, I guess, with the numbers. So we see monks. A lot of holy men are going to go down. I will say this. I will like it, this fight for Liereyy, if the spearmen are getting hits. They're Burmese spearmen. Very valuable. And this additional focus in the middle for Liereyy has allowed him to recover here nicely.
Ooh, and all of a sudden, completely switched indeed.
Yep.
12 military against 3. Now adding one more monk, adding one more light cav.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And on the outside, Lierey's picking up relics.
Yeah, this Liereyy, I changed my prediction. I think this could be 8-1 with relics.
Pretty sick.
I do always wonder though, like, I know the relics matter, especially when there's 9, but we're talking 3 town centers versus 1 right now. The eco is going to be insane for ACCM. And the monastery's normally on the front. And I know players are moving the monasteries to the back when they get pressured these days, but still, I do feel as though the early imp pressure is still just crazy on this map.
Yeah. 8 relics are like 12 villages on gold, I believe.
Yep,
so
a lot. Yep.
It can be a lot, and obviously your late game setup is so much better. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm a bit surprised that relics are being focused that much in so many situations where you feel like 3TC could really find a good timing, and I wouldn't be surprised if ACCM will be able to build a really aggressive castle.
Yeah, now this is where he needs to use his light cav to pick off the monks and avoid spearmen and whatnot. So he's trying, he's looking. Again, we have the little follow or guard being used there by Liereyy, and monk goes down. Also, would love to see fervor from Liereyy if he didn't already get it. They are moving quite quick here. I think maybe he does have fervor, because it is so cheap for the Burmese to get those upgrades.
Well, we can just compare the speeds, right? For the monk.
0.7 and then 0.7. So I guess no fervor then for Liereyy.
Also, something I want to mention. Yeah, you can be behind like 15 villagers if you focus on the relics quite heavily. But you also basically always get the map control.
Yep.
Right? And then it is tricky for your opponent to build that castle that aggressively.
Yeah, that's a good point. I even like making, or at least having leftover light cav or spearmen for that reason. Oh my god, that monk's going to go down. And another monk's going to go down. So much for monks and map control. That monk actually not going to go down, actually. And ACCM will see, not a TC on stone, but he will see the villagers on stone. And I wonder if he'll be able to pick up on the fact that Lierey's going faster imp here.
Liereyy already wanted to click up, had the resources, but was missing the university, which is now spotted. And ACM should know, okay, you are up pretty soon.
Also, it was double monastery. I'm sure you spotted this, Nili, but Liereyy had actually made a monastery in the back of his base, so he could be that much faster to the other relics. He will maybe have 9 relics if he can make a run for that other one. And now we have atonement from ACCM, so he can convert monks. Not something I was expecting to see here, as he's making more and more light cav and even getting forging to fight for that control.
I'm really surprised by this focus here, ACCM. I think he could have maybe played the long game. Now goes for all the conversions.
Oh man, his light cav didn't really block here. Atonement won't be helpful at all now, and his monks have gone down. Still, though, the monks could go down for Liereyy. Lierey's just going to try and convert his spearmen back, though. So Lierey's, I still think, fine here. 45 villagers on the way to imp, is on stone, so could bring villagers to drop a castle. And ACCM has sunk himself further and further into the castle age by making light cav.
What are you doing now if you're Liereyy? You know you get the map control. Do you think you can push the Turk player? Do you want to go for that front castle? I think it's not completely crazy to think adding 2 extra town centers and play a long game with 9 relics could have been an option.
I think he's committed now, right? I think he's already decided. There's no switching out of this now. And he's got the pikeman upgrade coming in. He's got plenty of spears in the middle. He sees the gold. So you'd expect him to maybe drop the castle there. And the worry I have for him is he doesn't quite have the balance. Okay, he's just used the market. You have to make sure that your castle is down when you arrive to imp.
Yeah, that would be the dream.
Atonement.
We'll see block printing pretty soon after reach imp.
Monks getting converted. It's just, the big thing for me is the fact that ACCM has spent so much food to fight for the middle. He still doesn't have it. And his opponent's going to have trebs on his face.
Solid 35 villager lead, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. The thing I have an issue with and had an issue with in this map is all that eco you might have. It's all very much right next to this hull pressure. Knight's pickoffs there from ACCM, though. And Treb's on the way. We got 6 monks, 5 spears, 3 pikemen. It's kind of funny. You can tell how many spears he converted because they weren't upgraded.
Some stone walls behind now. ACM will soon click up as well. And bombard cannons, oh, they could struggle a bit against all those monks having the same range to get artillery.
This, I think the MTC could go down. Also, he didn't click imp yet because he didn't have the buildings. This is some precious time for Liereyy. And he's adding the 3rd town center behind, so his eco will actually catch up a little bit here.
We think ACM should maybe even build a TC outside. Like he sends the villagers there. I think a 4th TC could make lots of sense.
The thing is, he has no scouting on the outside. He does in the north.
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hand card.
Oh, you saw the research? Okay.
Yeah, I only saw the research on the building.
I mean, still the other TC could go down, right? If Liereyy... I think Liereyy should have tasked his castle, like got fletching and tasked his castle onto the gate or something. Look at these stone walls from ACCM. Stonewalling for his tournament life here. He's got a 30 villager lead, but... what does he open with, Nili? If he opens with
45 walls.
Yeah, I would like that.
The dream is to get to Hussar Heavy CA, I believe.
That is the dream. Good luck having the farming space for upgrades. Look at how many farmers he has. He has 14. That might change occasionally as he sends units back. But man, this pressure from Lierey's working. Can you kind of stall out your pressure if you're Liereyy and just try and get to 110 vills and then go elephants? Or do you just always push here, I wonder?
That's the question that I had earlier, right? With adding town centers. I think, honestly, now that you see him rewalling so much and you don't have bombard cannons or any rams coming up, I think this is the moment where you actually go for the boom and go for TC and try to make
look at this
happen
to the
with elephants.
south. Liereyy denied the town center. He also used the monk to start converting all the vills at one point, so they all ran so far away, and the Lycav are going to kill all of them. So that denies the expansion that ACCM so badly needed. And also, look, a Lycav in the north for Liereyy, too. So he sees those town centers. And the MTC! The MTC! It's a 90% ACCM, please! Repair it! ACCM, repair the town center!
Trying to fight for it.
He's going to lose it.
600 HP. 1 more hit, 2 more hits, stressed it!
Oh! Okay, he made it. Calculated. He knew.
Oh, ACCM knows his timings.
He knew, Nili. But remember what we mentioned. You make it to the Imperial Age. You have all these villagers, but the efficiency's been horrible. And he doesn't have the resources for anything. He's going to go for Hussar now to try and stabilize. But Lierey's pressure's been awesome here. And also, his economy has caught up. He's got 78 villagers. He's got 8 relics. And the only thing I don't know is if Liereyy will recognize how sick elephants are in this matchup. Yeah. I'm just not sure if that will be on his mind at all.
I would be surprised as well. He is going for Summer Rambai, more monks now. And his income per minute has to be higher than ACCM's for sure.
Yeah,
like 8 relics still, plus only 7 villages behind.
Yeah.
Looking really solid for him. Plus all the map control in the center.
Yeah, and also, you know, he's taken out 2 TCs, and he is starting to expand to the outside, which is so nice. I think had he not done that, then that would be ACCM's potential to maybe get some side raids, but kind of hard for ACCM to expand. A lot of monks for Liereyy, so a lot of that gold income he's getting is going into just monks. And he's also trying to chop the tree with 2 villagers he converted. Is there still a hole there? I think there is. Yeah, there is a hole there, actually. And ACCM's going to just quickly plug that gap there with a couple fortified walls just to buy himself time.
Is it really the winning condition for him, though? Oh, man, it looked so good for ACM in so many spots. Oh, conversion against the bombard cannon.
Yeah, conversion on the bomber cannon. That bomber cannon could also kill the other one. So you've got to try and do that here if you're Liereyy. Seems like the other one's going to get converted. How's the monk hitting that? Okay. Cav archers could get converted, though. The bombard cannon. How is this not dead yet? It goes down. This is so messy, man. Poor ACCM. He can't even get Bodcanero, Nili. His resources are just looking so bad. And Liereyy is now pressuring the north with some pikemen, with some trebs. That's where the farming eco was going to be for ACCM. He wasn't able to get the stone walls down fully.
Look at the military count, 51-6.
Seriously, it doesn't even feel like Liereyy has that much army. I guess it's because it's all randomly split out around the front, too. Burmese, new meta. Even on fortified clearing, it seems.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
ACCM just really felt like he could hold the middle control. And if he held the middle control, that he could have the time to get to his army comp. He's massing the Cav Archers. There's nothing unique about them yet. Not even Bloodlines, right? So with no castle, I don't think he'll get Sipahi. But he has to hope that Cav Archers can do it. It is always Archers against the Burmese that you maybe think of. And I'm not seeing any signs that Liereyy is thinking elephants. And quite honestly, he shouldn't yet. I think he should wait until he has, 60 on food and has all the gold control. Halb and monks and trebs have been fine for now.
Yeah. I think getting more halves to protect his monks is step number 1 for now.
Yeah. These cannons.
Cannon? Oh.
You can't lose these. You just cannot afford to lose these. You hope nothing blocks them and the monks back away. And that's precisely what's happened, thankfully. A couple hussars could go in for the monks, but I feel like with that many monks, you can just convert those hussars.
I think so as well. Oh,
Yeah.
That's really optimistic diving in there with the 2 hussars.
Oh, man, and now the Cav Archers, too. You might be ranged, but you don't have the range of the monks, and the trebs are here, Nili. You just can't move forward with anything if you have if you're ACCM, because Liereyy can convert it all.
Now mixed in some hand cannoneers. Interesting choice. Bombard cannons trying to go for the monks. This is still really annoying to micro for Liereyy.
Yeah, it is. But if you take the 2 bombard cannons, I think you take it. I think you're happy with this whole engagement. Seems like he's going to get both of them. He does get both of them now. But still just applying so much pressure. Still ahead in population. However, the monk population's starting to dip. ACCM still got Cav Archers. He still has some gold income. Could maybe take the trebs here.
Okay. Bracer CA finally finding some kills here. Maybe now a rewall and those traps are dead.
Yeah.
I
Rewall would be
ACM
huge.
with those villagers around?
Yeah. Just one single wall, even if it's 100 HP, would be enough. Lierey's trebs are attacking the Cav Archers. Lierey's also going Arambai. He keeps streaming them in here. ACCM hasn't been able to get the rewall just yet. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe he's feeding me kills right now. This is fine for me,
I think ACCM is somewhat stabilizing. Losing a town center was really bad early on. Now he's back onto 2. Lost his 3 initial town centers. ACCM is somewhat holding.
Yeah, he is. And Liereyy has to back away with the trebs. I suppose the positive, though, is that Liereyy was actually able to leave with those trebs without, losing them. Also, Lierey's still kind of pressuring the north. It feels like if this was, let's say, Hera or something in Lierey's position, we would see hussars. And you just raid the sides now, right? You ram down the sides and you just raid. That actually does the same thing as, well, not the same thing as elephants, but it's the same logic. This civ doesn't get Halb. The Turk player now doesn't have a lot of gold. So just make sure that they have to go into gold, like camels or something, to counter the hussar raids.
It's just so tough for both players to ever get fully focused on economy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like there was so much aggression in Castle Age, then it felt like, okay, we need to have timings early Imperial Age. So neither player really with the eco setup that they would ideally like. 37 farms, and typically Liereyy is not slow with his adding his farms.
Yep, this would maybe be the time for where you can do that a bit more. He's starting to catch up on upgrades, but he will see now that there was just a wolf that killed a villager, and the wolf might even kill another villager for ACCM, so it gets worse. Woo. But you see now that Lierey's going to lose his trebs in the north. He's not pushing the middle anymore. He's going for elite Arambai here, Nili.
Ooh. I don't like that. I think Heavy CA are great against them. And that's the main unit that we see.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong because there was a change quite a while ago, actually, to the Arambai. So they do less damage overall, but I think they do better against groups. I think that's what it is, but you still have to produce out of castles. I know you have them. And by the way, a treb cut from Liereyy in the south. I love that. Just just keeps throwing units in on the sides and make it awkward for ACCM.
Nice. ACM, he might get to his dream army comp. Thumbring, Pathian Tactics.
Yeah.
He will get quite some damage output against those helps.
He needs 6 cannons, and he needs all those CA, and he needs to delete his walls and push that middle area. And for Liereyy, you need to either brace to deal with that, which it seems to be the case, or the other option, which I prefer, continuous raids on those sides. Like if he had gone for Hussar, he could have busted down the walls or chopped the trees, and he could be raiding all that eco. But instead, ACCM is able to think about the middle, and we'll have a massive duel for the Game 5 win.
Ooh. The thing is, like, do you really want to take the fight here for ACCM? Or do you wait to, like, pop 200, get all the upgrades, and then make one major attack happen? Because you're running out of gold pretty damn soon.
Yep. I think you take the fight if you kill the monks, but you don't lose your cannons! No! We lost 2 cannons! Oh, he also made a siege tower, by the way. I don't think that was intentional, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, maybe he wants to hop over his own walls to get outside.
He does still have gold. I'm trying to see where it is. Okay, so he's got 100 gold left on that in the north. And then he's got this chunk of gold that Liereyy is now running with Liereyy on in the south. And ACCM will see that. But again, you just can't lose your cannons here, ACCM.
So costly.
He's trying to re-wall as well. That Treb cut was so cool from Liereyy. He must have watched Tato vs. Yo. That was cool that Tato was able to change the game in Game 5 with his Treb cut. And 4 or 5 cannons. I personally prefer 6. And then you just... I don't know if you mass delete your walls because you might want them later. But you want to just delete a gap that you could run through.
Do you think there is a later against 8 relics and you know that he has extra gold?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe there is... Yeah, maybe... The mass deleting of the walls looks really cool, and it might scare your opponent more than just deleting a couple tiles. So maybe you just YOLO it. That would be
also,
so
he
sick,
goes
though.
for Hussar over the heavy CA upgrades.
Do you see the upgrades right now?
Uh-oh.
Howda.
Uh-oh, it's coming.
It is coming, and Howda gives the elephants extra armor. And as long as he can get... Honestly, I think like even just like 15 of those things combined with everything else, there's no way Liereyy can be stopped.
Yeah.
It's simply too strong. And there's no help. And soon no gold for ACCM. So it has to be soon. ACCM has to push the middle now. No heavy cav archer yet, though it feels like he's saving up for it.
Yeah, I think heavy cav archer indeed is now coming in. He needs a bit more stables, full production, prepare yourself. And then you have to find the timing before the elephants are coming. But 7 in the queue now. Oh, Liereyy is going for the perfect unit.
Yeah. I see the Liereyy and the monks. I mean, it felt like maybe ACCM has had... Like, maybe this has been his comp, right? But he hasn't been comfortable enough to leave. But the longer you wait, the more the relics kick in, the more that Liereyy can think about what he wants to do next. And look at all the buildings from Liereyy in the middle. He's making houses everywhere. He's got plenty of stables, barracks, castles. I guess the time is coming because we see a gate for ACCM.
Not really getting into the proper economy though. Just look at his Hussar upgrades. 1 attack, nothing else. Now goes for the first armor. Still not pretty.
I mean, great job from ACCM to recover here. He lost 71 villagers in this game. He hasn't had a single relic. Could have grabbed 1 relic, but honestly, that wouldn't have made a difference, right? Like all this came down to the timing from Lierey's push. Liereyy, should he be pushing, or does he recognize that there's no way he loses this game?
8 relics. How can he lose the game?
Yeah, that's what I'm
You don't
thinking.
want to attack here.
Yeah, and you get Elite Skirm and Help if you ever need to do it. So, you know, like, maybe you get those techs just in case. He's chopping through the trees right now, actually. He's going to go for an elephant raid. Let's go!
Yeah, totally fine there as well. Heavy CA trying to make something happen, but what's the armor on those elephants in the end? Look at that, 9 armor.
9 armor.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And tons of HP, right? 320 HP. So you just can't kill them fast enough. And the idea is the Liereyy are going to be behind, and the monks and everything else are going to be ready.
160 shots from a heavy CA.
So that means he needs more than 3 volleys.
It's 51, yeah.
More than he needs 4 volleys to kill 1 elephant. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, now Heavy Slayer moving out. Obviously, they're doing great against Halberdiers, so they won't mind that kill. But now the big attack is coming in, and how do you stop this? Trying with some rewalls.
I love this from Liereyy. Ballistics, fletching, bodkin. Needing... You got to have those technologies for your castles in the first place. And
didn't ballistics once affect
Erembi
as well?
I think they still do. Yeah, I think it still does. It's weird because the unit can still be inaccurate. I don't fully understand it, but I believe it does still have an effect on Erembi. ACCM just... I mean, he just left his walls for the first time in a very long time, but he's had to run right back inside to keep his villagers alive. But again, the win condition here is you have to push out. There's no way you should be able to win this game in the long run. Both players are at 200 pop. And Lierey's the one pushing, and he's going to try and take out this Desperation Castle that was just placed here by ACCM. But look at these elephants, man. They're so tanky.
Yeah. I'm trying to select them, but they're not really losing any HP.
Yeah.
It's completely ridiculous.
We saw Burmese elephants years back, right? When Burmese were introduced, they were a bit stronger for other reasons. You don't see it too frequently these days, these Halda elephants. It's expensive stuff, and it should be, because these things are strong. And look, they've actually found the bombard cannons from ACCM. I think ACCM could probably save them. But oh man,
would still be an option. Turk monks not full. Oh no,
you can't stop this.
They got to Sipa here. Oh man, you have to feel bad for ACCM. It just feels like he gave too much time and had to give too much time to Liereyy.
Yep.
Getting to the Dream Army comp.
Yeah, I feel bad for ACCM because he's been playing so good. But again, as we said about the players in the first 2 quarterfinals, man, the level that people have brought to these games has been insane. And no question on Lierey's prep. If he can pull off with Burmese, I think he played this map kind of like a seasoned pro in that he knew to take control of the middle when he did and how he did. Especially, remember, he lost his first 2 light cap. The start was not pretty. Oh, yeah. He was able to turn it around.
Yeah, not pretty at all. Absolutely agreed. And we felt like, okay, ACM could get 4 relics out of the center maybe.
Yeah.
And get more control. In the end, it was ACM getting 0 relics to 8.
Yep. And these cannons with no golds. This is the most important thing for you right now if you're ACCM. He does have a Hussar raid happening. I mean, that's not going to change the situation here. So someone really wanted me to show that. But yeah, the Cav Archers are down to 26. And ACCM, he's found himself in another position where he doesn't want to accept that this is over. He doesn't want to call it. But it is indeed the end for him in Titans League Season 2. Was such a great player. So good, but I'm so excited to see Liereyy playing at this level as well.
Yeah, and that's what we have to say, right? We said ACM, the top 6 player for us. But we have to say Liereyy is a top 4 player for us, right?
Yep.
I'm really happy to see him in the semifinals and continue his run. GG, well played. Good luck next.
Wow. What a series, man. What a ridiculous series. Congratulations, Liereyy. And, you know, there were some shaky moments here or there in the group. Remember, Liereyy didn't win his group, and ACCM did. But Lierey's just been getting stronger. And clearly, there's been some strategy discussions with him and his teammates on how to address certain maps that maybe he's not so comfortable with. And this looks good. So, Burmese hype, man. I think we'll see more and more Burmese in maybe the final quarterfinal and then also the semifinals if this continues. But I do wonder how this game goes, Nili. If ACCM senses that it's going to be some type of like low eco push and chooses to stop investing into the light cav in the middle. Because it felt like for like a couple minutes there, he was thinking map control and he just kept spending so much food on light cav. And that was what delayed his Imperial Age time.
Maybe he had some discussions with his teammates how to address Turks.
I was wondering, I was going to say, how the hell do you stop these things?
Aha, okay.
But
I like that one as well.
Well, I mean, not every day you see 8 relics collected. That's another big thing about this, right? The Burmese knew where those relics were at the start, and Liereyy, gotta love it. Back monastery, forward monastery. I haven't seen that one yet. He really prioritized himself. And this is a player who we used to always complain about never getting relics, by the way.
Yeah.
That he was at the he was winning tournaments, and we would.
And he didn't in Regicide Fortress.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't get it at all in Regicide Fortress until the very end. It's a good point. Well, props to ACCM for a great performance. He still has a lot to be proud of.